Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a very nice Saturday afternoon. Can everybody hear me nice and clearly? Can we do a quick sound check? We've had a major shock tonight. One of the biggest shocks. One of the biggest shocks in the history of British boxing. An absolutely ginormous shock. This is right up there with Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson. This is right up there with Andy Ruiz beating Anthony Joshua. This is right up there with Lloyd Honeyghan beating Don Curry. One of the greatest shocks of all time. Where were you when Tyson Fury uppercutted Dillian Whyte's head clean off his shoulders in the middle of round 6? Who's shocked with that? Richard from Twitter, that's a huge upset. I'm shocked, to be honest. I'm absolutely shocked by that. Yeah. Andrew says you picked White. I thought Dillian was going to do it. I genuinely thought. I thought because all these mind games, all of these mind games in boxing. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. You can hear the shock in my voice. The mind games. I thought the mind games of Dillian. We're going to go through all these comments on IFL TV about mind games, and I thought Dillian was playing a blinder. Dillian, he playing a blinder, not turning up to no press conference like he's a blinder. He playing a blinder. He playing a blinder. Let's get rid of Andrew. Jesus, Andrew didn't even last 2 seconds. Can you believe this stuff? Hold on, let me get rid of Andrew quickly. Didn't even last 2 seconds. I mean, listen. I genuinely thought Dillian Whyte was the overwhelming favourite to win this fight. Didn't you think so? Didn't you think Dillian Whyte was the big favourite? Let's have a look at something quickly. I'm going to drop the link. Oh, Chevron's coming on, and then everybody can come on, yeah? But just give me a sec, Chev. Let me just show you guys something. I'm in total shock that Tyson Fury's managed to pull that out against one of the greatest fighters of all time in Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte truly a generational fighter. What did they say for the last couple of months? Yo, Tyson Fury be ducking Dillian. No, Tyson Fury ducking Dillian. He don't want that smoke with Dillian. Like, he promised Dillian he'd give him a shot at the WBC Diamond. But he didn't do it because he's scared, because Fury's been ducking White. And you see the outcome of that. What about the mind games? Where the mind games crew at? Shout out to the mind games crew. Shout out to the mind games crew. How's Dillian Whyte's mind games looking right now? They looking good to you? One sec. Let me get this Taylor tape here. How's Dillian Whyte's mind games looking? Are we looking good? Hold on. Just give me a sec. Here we go. Here's why I thought Dillian was going to win. All right? Let me just tell you this now. Here's the reason why I thought Dillian was going to beat Fury. I thought Dillian was nailed on, to be honest. I'm shocked. I thought Dillian had that fight won. How do you think Dillian did in the fight tonight? I thought Dillian was dominating as well, but Fury caught him with a lucky shot, didn't he? Fury caught him with a lucky shot. Just as Dillian was getting warmed up. Let's have a look at why I thought Dillian was going to win. Hold on, let me show you this. Because you know me, I don't know nothing about boxing, innit? You know Ultra. Ultra don't know nothing about boxing. I've never been in it. I don't know nothing about boxing. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this quickly. Right. Tyson Fury reached 85. Dillian Whyte reached 78. Okay. All right. Let's have a look at this. Tyson Fury height 6'9". Dillian Whyte height 6'4". Okay, right. So Tyson Fury's got the overwhelming height, size, and reach advantage. Right. So what's Dillian going to have to do? Get up close. What's one of the worst things that Dillian Whyte has in his arsenal? Footwork, balance. Am I right or am I wrong? Footwork and balance. The two things that you need to close down distance against a much taller fighter. Anybody who's been in the ring with someone who's taller and got range knows. Speed of feet and balance. Do you know how important that is to have that quick turn of feet and to have balance? Do you know how important that is? Not very important, according to lots of people who watch IFL TV. We'll be going through those comments very, very shortly. But Dillian's got the mind games, though. I just got this feeling that Dillian's going to knock him out. Like, when did Dillian Whyte turn into this massive power puncher? Can I ask you that? When did Dillian Whyte ever turn into this massive power puncher? Dudes were talking about Dillian Whyte like he was Ernie Shavers. When did that happen? Can somebody tell me? When Dillian Whyte became this massive power puncher? Oh, but Dillian, if he touches you with that left hook, you're going to sleep. Well, Joseph Parker never went to sleep. Marius Watt never went to sleep. Who are all these people he's putting to sleep with this magical left hook? Who are these people that he's putting to sleep with this magical left hook that I've been hearing about for the last 3 years? Who is he? Who's he putting to sleep with his magical left hook? I ain't seen him put no. Yeah, exactly. Dave Lane. Dave Allen survived Dillian Whyte's magical left hook. Dave Allen survived Dillian Whyte's magical left hook. But this week, I keep hearing how Dillian Whyte is the heavyweight reincarnation of Julian Jackson. Oh, Dillian touches you with that left hook. Tyson's going to sleep. What about these ones? What about these ones? You know what? Oh, I think Tyson will get there, but he'll have to get off the canvas. Let me get Sherry sending it to Sherman. What about this one? What about this one? What about this one? I think Fury might win, but he might have to get off the canvas. Just stop it, man. Stop it. Please, man. If you haven't been in the ring, man, please stop making videos now. I'm begging people now. Please, if you haven't put a pair of boxing gloves on, please stop making videos. So embarrassing. Oh my, Andre the Giant. Right, let me get something. Cooler says, Ultra, didn't you say you had a feeling White would win? Yeah. Dillian was winning the fight, Cooler. I believe Dillian was going to win. To me, at the time of the stoppage, I had Dillian 4-1 up or so at the time of stoppage. I thought Dillian was hurting Fury and then Fury just landed a lucky shot. So yeah, I did go with White. I always believed Dillian Whyte was going to win the fight. I just, me, I'm terrible at picking fights, aren't I, Cooler? I'm really bad, innit? I don't know what I'm talking about. So it is what it is. Right, let's get the thing in. I will go through your comments, I promise. It's just cringe. Yeah, Toby Players. I didn't 11 rounds up at the time. That's it. Mr. Anderson says White literally didn't land a shot. Yes, he did. Yes, he did, you lie. White had Fury on the floor, but Fury showed heart to get. What have all them YouTubers been telling you? Yo, I think Fury might win, but I think I'll have to get off the canvas. Yo, let me tell you something before I get Shevin in. Do you know when Tyson Fury fought Dillian Whyte and fought Deontay Wilder, yeah? Oh, shout out to Deontay Wilder. I mean, anybody who's saying Deontay Wilder's not a top 3 heavyweight is smoking crack cocaine now. You see the difference now between Deontay Wilder and you see the difference now between Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte. Levels, yeah? Do you know when I watched these 3 fights with Wilder, I was literally dripping with sweat. You know why? Because Fury was in the ring with a fucking certified killer, man. I was dripping with sweat at the end of all his fights with Wilder. I was dripping with sweat. You know why? Because Wilder is a certified gunman. You get me? Wilder is a certified gunman. He's a certified killer. Do you know, honestly, my shirt is so dry. It's unbelievable. You know what? The carb was awful. BT streaming was awful. I got shafted out of £25. I'll be on the phone first thing in the morning to Frank Warren, yeah, for my for my refund. But we'll get to it in a minute. Right, Shevan's been sent the link. Sorry, I'm all over the place at the minute. Do you know what? To be honest, I'm not even that bothered about going live. But I'm going to get Shevan on. Shevan's going to do the post-fight with me. And sorry, here we go. Shevan's going to do the post-fight with me. And then everybody can call in. Andre the Giant, everybody. What did you think? Boxing Madness says, Ultra, you take the words out of my mouth sometimes. I was thinking the same. I wasn't worried about that whole fight. I mean, after the first round, I'm dry as a bone. Normally for Fury, I'm telling you now, when Fury got in the ring with Wilder, I was sweating bucket. I was changing t-shirts. Because he was in the ring with a killer, a genuine killer. Put some respect on the name of Deontay Wilder after seeing that performance from Dillian Whyte. Where has anybody got the punch stats from Dillian? Did he land a clean shot? I think Dillian might have landed 1 clean shot in 6 fucking rounds. But anyway, let's talk about, Let's talk about it. Let's go through some comments. Chevron will be coming in. If you guys can stay with me all night, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. There are 150, 60 people here. Seriously now, we're going to get militant. So can you please now hit the like button? Because you're going to hear some raw shit. I haven't even started yet. We're getting Chevron in, and then everybody can come in. Me and Chevron will take your calls. So I won't even do much talking tonight. Andre the Giant, Jason Walker, everybody can call in. I'll be bringing the things out. Listen, hey, just a quick question. Yo, how's Dillian's? Oh, yeah, Jason Walker. Where are them people saying that Whyte is a better fighter than Wilder? Whyte's much trickier. Whyte's a better fighter than Wilder. Yo, Deontay Wilder took Tyson Fury, yeah? Deontay Wilder took Tyson Fury, yeah? To the edge of hell in 3 fights. Had him down 4 times in 3 fights and nearly knocked him out of 2 or 3 fights. Yo, what are they saying? But Dillian's different. Yeah, Dillian's more complete fighter than Wilder. Yeah, Dillian's really sneaky. No, motherfucker. Dillian's got really slow feet and bad balance. And I'll tell you what, we're going to go through, I haven't even started yet. I'm going to go through old tweets. Today we're now going to start going back through old tweets and old comments on IFL TV. Because we ain't forgotten them comments. I've been saving them up. Let me bring Chevron in here. Chev, unmute yourself. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Are you ready to do the post fight? We're going to be taking calls in a minute. You're going to give your view, and then me and you're going to take calls. I'll let you do the show if you want.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good.
Hey, hold on a minute, Chef. Mm-hmm. I thought Dillian was a more complete fighter than Deontay Wilder. Do you know what happened to that? But I thought Dillian had all his heart, like, you know, all his heart, like, from the arbitration, Chevron. Like the arbitration taught him all his boxing. I heard that Dillian Whyte got all his skills from the arbitration. Yeah, but Dillian can't say nothing because Dillian got the arbitration. Dillian can't say nothing at the minute because Dillian's got the arbitration going. Chev, what do you think? Chev, let me tell you before you go, Chev. All 3 Wilder fights, Chevron, yeah? I was changing t-shirts. This man is a fucking certified killer. I was watching Fury get up off the floor 4 times in 3 fights. You know how much a man was sweating? You see this fight with Dillian Whyte? Bro, it's like someone's doused me in a can of Lynx or a can of Shaw. Like, it's like, you know, I'm dry as a bone. It's glorified. That was glorified sparring, Chevron. It's embarrassment. Carry it, Chevron. Say your piece. My apologies.
Nah, you're good. You're good. So let this be. Well, for me, I'm glad it happened the way it did. You know, I called the shot, which is rare.
Oh yeah, Chevron. Tell them your exact prediction.
My exact prediction for this fight, which was also my prediction with Vegas as well, thank God, was middle rounds between 5 and 8. Dillian Whyte is going to fall over one of his shots, and Fury is going to time with the uppercut and finish the fight. And that's exactly what I bet on, and that's exactly what I won.
I tell you what, I will take a half a mark off you, Chevron. Can you believe it? Dillian didn't actually fall over his front foot when he got nailed with that uppercut. That's why it was such a good uppercut. He didn't actually fall over his front foot, and Fury still took his fucking chin off. Richard from Twitter, Chevron, says Southpaw Dillian was hilarious. What do you think about Southpaw Dillian? Chevron, Dillian says all he wants is war, maximum violence. What do you think about the maximum violence we saw from Dillian in them 6 rounds?
Well, I mean, Dillian knew that Tyson could hurt him, and Chef, that was obvious.
Hold on, Chef. I can hear you. Keep talking, Chef. Sorry, my mic's not working. Keep talking, Chef. Keep talking.
Oh, you're good. I said Dillian knew that Tyson could hurt him, and you could see that in about the 2nd and 3rd round. He knew that Fury could hurt him, and Fury is also naturally. Dillian's a strong guy, but Tyson is naturally a way bigger guy and a way stronger guy than Dillian Whyte. As we all know, that muscles don't equal strength, but Tyson Fury is a naturally bigger guy than Dillian Whyte. So he knew that Fury could hurt him. And that's what we saw whenever they got in clinches. And to credit Dillian Whyte, throwing those elbows and throwing shoulders.
Punching off the bell, Chevron, disgusting.
Doing everything he possibly could, because he knew when he got inside with the bigger man and the stronger man, he knew he could get hurt. The other thing is, I can't wait to address so many people, Dillian Whyte fans, or really Anthony Joshua fans, about this issue. Because you know, and I know, since 2017, we have heard that Dillian Whyte, respect those who feel this way, because that's their opinion. We've been told, have we not, since 2017, that Dillian Whyte was the second or the third best heavyweight in the world. Okay, have we not been told that for 3 years? Okay,
He beat Wilder. Wilder ducked him. Like, he knocked Wilder out. Like, he's much better than Wilder.
Ortiz,
he got much more heart than Wilder.
He would kill Ortiz.
Oh, my God.
So these guys went on about that. So now that Fury and the people who don't like him, we know these people are. And Fury's great, but Fury doesn't have the weather made. He doesn't have the weather made. Well, now Tyson Fury went on the road. He's beat Vladimir Klitschko. He's a draw with Deontay Wilder. He beat Deontay Wilder. He beat Deontay Wilder. Then he beat the second best heavyweight in the world. So these same people that went ahead and talk all this trash about Tyson Fury's resume, and they thought that somehow Dillian Whyte was going to win this fight because he beat Weevis and Parker and Povetkin and Lucas Brown. And what is Fury going to do when Dillian comes to the ring and goes, ah! He's not waiting for that permission.
Yo, listen. Dillian Whyte's a warrior, yeah? No question.
Absolutely.
But genuine question, how the fuck are you going to come out to the ring howling like a wolf and then put in a performance like that, bro? No disrespect to Dillian, because Dillian would take my head off. But Dillian Whyte, honestly, yeah? He must have spent a cool 2 minutes at the entrance howling. Bro, how are you going to howl like that and put in a performance? No disrespect. Bro, people don't understand. If you're just joining this show, I haven't even started. Because I even talked about my opinions about the build-up, the disgraceful build-up to this fight, yeah? Dillian Whyte is the worst advised fighter in boxing. Period. Do you understand that now? Chevin, the worst thing that could happen to Dillian happened. Here's what happened. He refused to promote the fight. He didn't back himself. He didn't gamble on himself, yeah? He tried not to promote the fight. He's gone into Wembley at the last minute. He's put in a complete bullshit performance. He got completely Derek Chisora and then got his head lifted off in the 6th round. Like, that's the worst case scenario, Chevin. That's the worst case scenario. Like, he's completely, like, done himself up the bottom, isn't he?
This is why that was so stupid, right? Rewind 1 year back to October. Deontay Wilder has lost 2 fights in a row. Arguably, I don't think he's won a fight really since 2020 and 2019 against Dominic Brazil. After losing those 2 fights, though, because he promoted himself and he promoted the Fury fight, he's as big, if not bigger, than he ever was coming off a devastating loss. But it was one of the greatest heavyweight fights any of us have ever seen in our lives. And he promoted himself. So all these fans who love Tyson Fury and love MMA and love Deontay Wilder, they love him even more now because they saw him put on a great performance and a great fight. You build the event because what happens is whether you win or lose, the fans of the other guy, some of them become your fans. So who in the hell advised Dillian Whyte to not do that at his own detriment? We know who did that, but you know what? I'm not going to blame Eddie Hearn. I'm going to blame Dillian Whyte for listening to this stupidness.
I can't believe, and you know what, like I said before, Chev, I said, the one thing I will say about Dillian is all this not promoting the fight, not taking the bet on himself. You know, he could have got out there. They could have got on Good Morning Britain. They could have done the proper face-offs. They could have had, they could have spiced it up. And Dillian Whyte, could have got a whole new fan base. And the worst thing that's happened to Dillian Whyte has happened, thanks to senior Eddie Hearn, who we know Eddie Hearn's been in this idiot's head, telling him all kinds of bullshit. This idiot turned up to Wembley. He turned up to Wembley, 3 days? 3 days before the fight, you're turning up to a 94,000 seat arena. I didn't say anything at the time, but you know what I was thinking the whole time, Chevin? If you fight in front of a 94,000 in a stadium, you want to be in that stadium as quick as possible. You know that very first press conference, the one where Fury turned up by himself. I was thinking, if I'm Dillian Whyte, I want to be there. I want to be in there. I want to check out the atmosphere. I want to see the changing rooms. I want to know where I'm walking out from. If I was Dillian Whyte and I was in there, I would have spent a good hour or two with my team. Where the changing room's going to be? Where am I walking out from? Yeah. Where's the ring going to be? I'll be sitting there mentally visualizing it and scoping it out. This dude turns up here 3 days before a fight. This man rocks up here on a plane, on a late plane from the Algarve. This man rocks up on a late plane from the Algarve, yeah, looking like he's about to. Yo King will know this. This man turning up like merciless at Sting, Yo King. Dillian Whyte turning up like merciless at Sting, like he's about. Sting, Yo King.
Sting.
Yeah, Sting. Dillian Whyte turning up, yeah, to the arena. This man turning up in full gear, looking like he's about to take the mic and spit some bars against the Ninja Man or a Vibes Cartel. This man turned up looking like he's about to do a dancehall clash. Three days out from the biggest fight of his career. He just rock up to Wembley Stadium. And he out there shaking hands with Tyson Fury. And then he gets to the ring howling like a fucking wolf and don't land a punch for 6 rounds. Where are these idiots out there? Oh, Dillian's right for not promoting the fight. Is he right now? Let me tell you, his career ain't over, but he's done himself no favours at all. He's gained no new fan base. His performance was disgusting. Yeah? His performance was disgusting. That was glorified sparring. That simple as that. That was glorified sparring. Sorry, Shevin. Carry on, brother. We'll get people on in a minute. I'm gonna drop the next. Carry on, Shevin. Sorry.
He basically, by listening to Eddie Hearn's advice, because what fighters have to understand is promoters are going to be around until they're 45 and 55 and 65 and sometimes 70 years old. You as a fighter, by the time you hit 40 years old, you're pretty much done in terms of your commercial value for the most part. Dillian Whyte's 34 years old. He can fight on easily, no problem, for the next 5 years, no problem. He can have fights versus Otto Wallen. He can have another fight, a big fight at the O2 versus Jarrell Miller. However, those fights now, because he did not promote himself and introduce himself to an American ESPN audience who have no fucking idea who he is, did not promote himself or introduce himself to an audience like the New York audience, he can have a fight with a Kalinacki or Helena, any of those guys. He can have fights with those guys as a comeback fight that people who were interested in Tyson Fury now transfer that interest to Dillian Whyte. But that's not going to happen because he listened to a promoter who has long-term gains to make Frank Warren fail at the expense of Dillian Whyte's commercial value. So it was stupid on his part to listen to someone to benefit them at your own detriment. I mean, who the fuck is advising this nigga?
Hey, Shevin, this is how Dillian Whyte came out to the press conference. Yo, kid, look, this man coming out, like fucking bounty killer. Look at him, look how he came out to the press. Let me get this video of this fool turning up to the press conference. Hold on a minute. How did this fool turn up to Wembley, 2 days before the biggest fight of your life? Yo, this man, you know when he turned up tonight, I'm surprised he knew where the changing rooms were. Because he just drop in. Dillian Whyte just drop in from the Algarve, for the biggest fight of his career. Look, here's a side-by-side. He looked just like Bounty Killer. He looked just like Bounty Killer. Look like this man look like, hey, this man turning up looking like Bounty Killer, like he's about to spit bars at Sting 2 days out from the biggest fight of his career. He's like, I don't. But listen, like I said before, I'm surprised he found his way out of the changing room. He's a clout. Anyway, let me say this.
It goes back to what you said a while ago, Ultra. I'm going to cut you off. It goes back to what you said a while ago. In terms of him, we all know that he was taking advice from Eddie Hearn to not promote the fight because it was a Frank Warren show and it was not a Sky show. And that's anyone who does that in the biggest commercial fight of their career, you think to yourself, something you said, and I agree with you several weeks ago, behaving like someone who does not think he can win the fight. He's behaving like someone who thinks he can't win the fight. And he knew he couldn't win the fight. So he said, you know what? I'm not going to win this fight. I'm not going to promote myself. But my thinking or my mindset is, you know what? I probably can't win this fight, but I can win at the bank when I have 2 or 3 fights after this versus guys after I steal some of Fury's fans, especially if Fury retires. Because I honestly gotta think, the honest way I say about Fury, if AJ loses his next fight, which I think he will, if AJ loses, Fury's not gonna fight Usyk. There's no big money in that fight. Now if it's AJ, I think he'll do it. But if it's Usyk, I don't think he's gonna come back for Usyk. There's no big money in that fight. So
go ahead. Let me just quickly say something quickly. Let me just go. For those of you who are joining, 254 in the chat. We're just getting started. So please hit the like button. Let me just read the comment, Shevin. Look at the left-hand side. I am going with Dillian Whyte. As a matter of fact, Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte for undisputed. If anybody's got any more of these absolutely hilarious comments, please feel free to let me know. I'm going to be going through all these comments tonight on Twitter. I think it's Whyte by KO. Will you be at the fight? My God, Jesus fucking Christ Almighty! If you're American, and hopefully if you're American, you didn't pay $24.99 for the absolute shit that was served up. To be honest, the main event didn't even live up to the hype. To be honest, the main event was a fucking
try 70.
70, embarrassing. 70 quid for that was embarrassing. Let me just quickly say this, on behalf of Boris Johnson and and all the good Tories out there, yeah, because us conservatives do have hearts. I'd like to apologise to America, yeah, for serving up, yeah, Nick Ball and Isaac Lowe, yeah, just before one of the biggest fucking, just a load of shit. I didn't even bother watching that undercard. I mean, listen, Frank Warren will sleep tonight in his bed of money. You know, Tyson Fury did what he had to do. That fucking undercard was a disgrace. And listen, I to be honest, I might have to go and call the Samaritans after this and talk about spending fucking $24.99 on that fucking garbage, because I spent $24.99, Shevin, thinking the main event was going to be good. Because you know what upset me about Dillian, yeah? I thought with Dillian's a warrior, yeah? But I was expecting a little bit more of an effort from that. And like I said, he can only do what he can do. But Shevin, honestly, I was so surprised because I thought, look, Dillian, yeah? One thing about Dillian is he's not gonna cash it in. He's not gonna do an AJ. He's not gonna cash it in. And I have to say, I don't think he cashed it in, but there was he was befuddled in there from day one, wasn't he? And that was so embarrassing. After all the talk, Shevin, after all these 2-3 years of hype, to come out and perform like that, I don't know if the occasion got to him, Shevin, but that was shocking. That was shocking.
You know what, you said that and I agree with you on this as well, that Dillian Whyte is someone who, unlike AJ, doesn't cash it in the ring to sell out for a points decision because he does not want to get knocked out in front of all those people. Technically speaking, one could argue, I wouldn't make this argument, but I would understand if someone else did, that by not promoting the fight, by not being a participant in promotion of himself and his brand, he kind of cashed it in before the fight even started for himself. AJ just cashes it in the ring once he gets hurt. So they both kind of cash it in, but just at different periods of a fight that they don't think they can win.
Do you know what? I have to be honest with you, genuinely, right? And I'm not going to talk technical about. There's nothing to talk about technically. Can we agree with that? There's nothing. I mean, this I was wrong about. Shall I tell you how I genuinely thought the fight would go? I did get it wrong. I thought Fury would win it inside 6, but I thought it would be Wilder too. I didn't think he'd go on the back foot and basically treat Dillian Whyte like Derek Chisora's stepchild. Because that's what that was, wasn't it? I don't. That was embarrassing. That was fucking. Honestly, I thought Fury would end it in 6, but I thought he's gonna go in. He's gonna have a look for a round or two, and then he's gonna do a Wilder 2. He's gonna go forward on the jab, on a double jab. I will say one thing from Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte saw the right hand really nice tonight, so I will say that from Dillian. He did see the right hand really nice, actually. I thought as soon as Tyson Fury threw the right hand over the top of Dillian's low left, it'd be over. Dillian Whyte actually did a very, very good job of keeping his left hand high and tucking down, and covering off that right hand, because Fury threw numerous right hands. But nevertheless, I mean, that someone needs to do a DNA test. Someone needs to get Jeremy Kyle in, to do a DNA test on Dillian Whyte. I'm sure he's related to Derek Chisora. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be like that. I mean, that was Derek Chisora versus Tyson Fury 2 all over again, but just with a more explosive knockout. It was literally the same fight, but Fury only fought one round in Southpaw and he ended it in one shot. Carry on.
You know, it's funny. I was having a debate with our boy Baylor, and we were talking about. He was doing a video yesterday. And we were talking about Dillian Whyte and the differences between this fight matchup style versus Tyson Fury fighting Deontay Wilder. And he's right about that. There is a different matchup in terms of their matchup, but himself and other people, I've been having this conversation about Dillian Whyte for the last 2 or 3 years. When people talk about technical boxing, technicalities, and footwork, and I said, listen, if you want to talk about Deontay Wilder's footwork, we all know it's dreadful for the most part. But my comeback is, you do realize that Dillian Whyte, equally or as worse, also has horrific footwork. I mean, that second round when Dillian Whyte threw a right hand, that legit, he almost fell out of the ring. Okay, he almost fell out of the ring. So, like you said this about a year ago, talking about Dillian Whyte does not have snappy punches. Wilder's a snappy puncher. So when people compare their criticism of those two guys as fighters, it's night and day. Tyson Fury destroyed him and dominated the fight, right? Deontay Wilder, same thing, would have put him to sleep in 2 or 3 rounds.
Oh my God. Deontay Wilder would have put Dillian. Oh my God. Deontay Wilder would have iced Dillian Whyte, man. Does anybody here think Dillian Whyte would have beaten Deontay Wilder? Are you kidding me? How many rounds did Deontay Wilder do with Fury? He did 11 first. He did 12 the first time.
12,
he did 7
and 11.
And 11. He did 12, 7, and 11. White did 6. And he got knocked out with a shot. He got done over with one shot. First time he was hit with one clean shot, the fight was over. I mean, give me a break. What are these dudes talking about? Wilder would fucking...
I don't think Dillian Whyte would get the first round with Deontay Wilder. Dominant Brazil
He'd
shit.
have fucking laid him. And that's no disrespect. I've got
None.
no problem with Dillian. Let me get Andre in. Right. Let me get Andre in. Shevin, do you know who's here? Guess who's here? Andre the Giant's here, Chev.
Andre, how's it going, brother?
How's it, guys? How's it going?
Andre, we're gonna leave it to you. Shevin's my co-host, so he'll be asking you some questions. Andre, let rip. Andre, we were waiting for this. Let rip.
Well, I tell you, all I can say is I told you so. Because even going back months ago, I said that Dillian Whyte is lethargic, he's slow, he's predictable, and I knew that gaping mouth of his would be the same, just like he got smashed by AJ and just like he got smashed by Povetkin. He was always overrated. He is basically, and I would consider him a club type fighter, maybe a UK local fighter. That's the level this clown is on. And he shouldn't have been in there in the first place. And I actually begrudge him getting paid what he got paid because he doesn't deserve it. First of all, because his performance was horrific. Second of all, because he had a situation where he didn't care about the promotion. And I agree with you guys fully. He didn't participate. You heard that crowd boo him from start to end. And I'm so glad he got smashed. I mean, he is the biggest joker on 2 feet. And it was so good to see him get that uppercut and just literally get laid out cold.
Andre, question for you. I know we discussed this a little bit about a few months back. They were talking about where Dillian Whyte ranks in terms of the top 5 or top 10 heavyweights. Now, we all know Ortiz is 55 years old with gumpy legs. However, present day, present form, how do you see Charles Martin and or Ortiz and Ruiz against Dillian Whyte going?
Well, look, I mean, Andrew Ruiz takes him out, no doubt. That's definitely. Charles Martin, maybe a 50-50 fight there. And Ortiz, I think Ortiz takes him out as well, even though he's heading towards 50. Because
Agreed.
Dillian has never had a chin. Never, ever has he had a solid chin. He is ponderous. Always when he resets, it's slow, it's laborious, it's lethargic. He's there for the taking by anyone who's got half a bit of speed. So the guy is so overrated. And Ultra, I agree with you. There's no doubt that Eddie Hearn advised this clown to not participate because I bet you was sitting at home there tonight just, grinding his teeth, so jealous that he wasn't part of it. And thank God Dillian never won. Can you imagine who would have been knocking down his door to suddenly immediately sign him up with Matchroom Boxing so that he could suck him dry because he hadn't given him a contract up until now. And I can guarantee you, had he won that title, oh my word, he would have just seen dollar signs.
Let me ask you a quick question about that. I mean, let me just, and do you know what? As soon as I've asked you, I've literally just forgot my question. I was so concerned
about Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn.
I mean, I just think the advice from Dillian is been Dillian there. I mean, listen, he's got away with. I tell you what, he wanted 20%. Andre, he wanted more than 20% of fucking 30 million, 40 million. Dillian Whyte wanted more than 20% of 40 million, and he goes in and he performs like that. I mean,
I can tell you guys the happiest. You know who's the happiest person tonight? Maurizio Suleiman.
He wanted 40%, Andre. It's about Dillian needs 40%. Did that performance tonight warrant 40% of 40
Put it this way, he didn't even deserve to get 20% and have that 6.8 mil or whatever he's sitting with. I mean, the guy's not on that level, guys. He was never on that level. He is not. He literally. He really, like I said to you guys before, fell with his ass in the butter going back years. All those pay-per-views that he had on Sky Sports, those were jokes of pay-per-views. He didn't deserve it. There's a lot more deserving people than this clown. And I'm just so happy that he got smashed because, the trouble he caused, the non-interest in the promotion, the prima donna attitude of his that he had, everything just lent it to him needing to be punished and punished severely. I'm so glad that that spit was running down the side of his mouth as he got that uppercut. Beautiful picture there.
Andre, I'll leave you with this.
Andre, I
Shevin, you
think
can ask him one question. Shevin, you can ask him one. Shevin,
yeah,
let's get this in.
last comment, Andre. I think Dillian Whyte was rushing out of the ring so fast before the last arbitration meeting.
Hey, look
Yeah,
at this comment here.
exactly. And it just shows his poor sportsmanship again, because he did that with the Povetkin fight as well, even though, okay, it was laid out totally cold, but total poor sportsmanship. And guys, just to touch quickly on our next Triple G, Triple G beater,
Jesus
Mr.
Christ.
Tommy Fury. Let's get real, guys. This guy's going to get asked by Jake Paul. He's a joke wrapped in a farce around about comedy. And there's no way, if he couldn't take out that clown, let's be real, guys, Tommy Fury is on a road to nowhere.
All right, Andre, we'll leave you there. Hopefully, Andre, we're going to do a show tomorrow. Come back on. Andre, we'll leave you with this comment from Ian T. He says, imagine if it went to arbitration now, they'd reduce Dillian's split.
Yeah, that would be beautiful too. But guys, thanks, great show, and let's hope that we'll see now. What happens is, I don't believe Fury will really retire. I believe he'll get a deal that he can't resist, and he'll just say, well, Paris allowed him to fight one last time, because I can't see him walking away from 100 mil, with a fight with Joshua or something. I cannot see that happening. So if that doesn't happen and he relinquishes the title, that will be interesting who fights for it.
Okay, thank you very much, Andre. Come on tomorrow
Thanks,
as well.
Thanks,
man.
Cheers,
man. The legend there, Andre the Giant. Look who's next. We've got my brother coming on here. My brother from another mother. Jason Walker will be on here in just a second. Let me just say, if anybody else, do you know what? Honestly, if Tyson Fury got knocked out tonight, I still would have come on and done this show, I would have come on and done this show. So if you do want to call in, we'll be respectful. Any Dillian Whyte fans want to come on, just talk about his magical left hook. Maybe you can tell us what his arbitration case is, because I can't fucking find it. And we're nearly into fucking June now, and they still ain't no arbitration. But nevertheless,
listen, we're not like anywhere else, man. We come and show up for the smoke. Everyone knows that. I've been saying for a better part of almost a year, this fight would never happen. I was wrong as hell per usual.
Yeah, well, you're right about the fight. Jason, what are we saying, brother?
What's happening?
Painful. Go on, Jason. Give your opinion. For me, that was pain. That was pure pain.
Oh my God, man! And all that bullshit people were talking, all that gas, brother.
Oh, hold on, Jason. Jason, you was one of the only people that come on and actually talked about the height and the reach. Everybody was talking about fucking mind games, arbitration, and all this bullshit, resumes, everything.
And what did it come down to? Just holding him back, picking. He couldn't close the distance, didn't throw the uppercut, fooled him into a full sense of security, and then banged him out. Like people were saying, I heard you people say, the occasion might have got to him, not you, but other people. I said to you when I spoke to you before, levels. Fury is levels and levels above Whyte. It's like if the levels are like Atari and PS5, like Fury's like a PS4.
Atari?
Fucking no, he's like a NES, isn't it? He's like a NES. 16 bit. he come like a NES, bro. Fury's like a PS4. If Ali's a PS5, Fury's a PS4. Man's like a NES. I'm 16-bit team.
Dillian Whyte's a Game Boy, the color screen.
Oh shit! Old school one as well. You know the one that's like a brick, really slow and shit. Like that one.
Game Gear. Listen. At least the Game Gear comes to fight and actually turns it on. I mean, Jesus Christ, Jason. I have to be honest with you. Have you ever seen a man how at the entrance in front of 94,000 people, and then come out and put out this kind of? I mean, Dillian's a warrior. I can never criticize. He'd knock me out. If I saw Dillian, I wouldn't say any of this to his face. I'd run, yeah. But yeah. I really did think, Jason, he was going to give it more of a go than that, Jason. To be honest, I really thought he was going to leave no stone unturned.
Yeah, I said that to you. I really thought he did. I just think, you know what I mean? Fury's just levels above him. He couldn't do anything about it. Like, Fury was talking to him as well when he was swinging and missing them shots. Fury was just... I'd love to know what he was saying to him in his ear, bruv. He was just mugging him off so much. It was too much. You know how Fury said his last fight was going to be Fury Chisora?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it was. If he
It was, yeah.
retires now, it was. It's standard, bruv. That was it.
But Jason, hold on, Jason. What about the magical sparring? What about when Whyte killed Fury in sparring? That's why Fury didn't want the fight, right? Because of sparring.
Man, you know, like people talk about these sparring rumors. Like, imagine if you're sparring and then like you go through 9 sparring partners, and then Whyte comes in at number 10 after you've done like
the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
like Royal
and
Rumble.
then he gets a bit the better of you in one round because you're knackered and you've just been through Jared Anderson and everyone else that day, like, and he's the last one and you've just done 25 rounds. Sparring means fuck all. Anyone who knows about boxing, sparring means fuck all.
Jason, what do you think
Crazy.
about...
What about his balance? Like you said, he come like Bambi on ice, isn't it?
Well, it was what it was. But
Bruv,
let me
mad,
ask
dancing all over the place.
Let me ask you about this. Let me go back. Let me go back to the build-up. He chose not to participate. Now, at the end of the day, his paycheck is his paycheck. My worry for Dillian, right, was that this would happen, where he wouldn't promote the fight. He'd do a half-assed job, and then he'd go in the ring and he'd get wiped out, or he'd go in the ring and he'd get clowned, or he'd get schooled. I don't see how any of the stuff that he did, not turning up to the press conferences, not promoting, I don't see how that's benefited him in any way, shape, or form. Like, I'm not saying his career is over, but he's in the biggest fight of his life. This is probably the biggest fight he will ever be in. He refused to promote the fight. He's got nothing to look back on in their memories because he got off a plane from the Algarve and he turned up 3 days. 2 days before the fight, he's then turned up. So it's not like, you can go back. Carl Froch, let's say something. Carl Froch and George Groves are still doing press tours. They're doing sellout tours all over pubs and all these places in the UK based on what happened in that fight that they both promoted together, 80,000. They go through the memories and what they went through. Dillian Whyte's got no memory. Well, he's got no memory now. He got amnesia because he's got his head off.
Joshua's career is going to be built off that fight with Klitschko in front of like 90,000 at Wembley.
Magical moment. Great fight.
Yeah, exactly. But because of like how they built it up, all that stuff. Oh, bruv, do you know what? I'm so glad he got his face smashed in. And like, it's boxing one. Because at the end of the day, you get paid that money no matter what. You deny all the fans, all the press conference, all that stuff. Like, it's just a piss take, bro. And you and Chev are right, like, you know what I mean? And Andre, like, Eddie's definitely behind it. But he's just behind it because Eddie was the only one that was going to give Dillian his payday after this anyway. After this day, Dillian knew he had nowhere to go. He's got nowhere to go.
The whole plan was Eddie just wanted to feed into AJ. That's all he ever wanted to do with Dillian. Eddie Hearn don't give a fuck about Dillian. All Eddie Hearn wanted to do is let Dillian get a belt, and feed his ass to bodybuilder. That's all.
Listen, that's 1,000% the reason that that AJ versus Usyk fight, the date was not announced until this fight, just in case Dillian Whyte somehow pulled it off and knocked Fury out. 1,000%. Listen to me, niggas. 1,000%. Had Dillian Whyte won this fight and got that belt, that Usyk fight would be off, and Dillian Whyte will be fed to Anthony Joshua on a platter in the middle of Egypt.
Yeah, 50-50 they would have given him just to get him to do the fight or something. They would have given him like 20 million or something.
100%. They have made some fake injury for Usyk, and Usyk they want Usyk to go fight the war. Blah blah blah. Promise you, they were waiting just in case. But it didn't happen, so we're going to get the AJ Usyk fight date in a week or two. Watch.
That's the fight they don't want, Jason. What you think about that? Matchroom are really on the ropes now. It's down to AJ because if AJ gets himself knocked out again, I actually believe he'll come through. Genuinely now. That's a genuine
wait. Ultra, stop.
No, I'm not.
Ultra, stop it right now. You forgot about Conor Ben. Conor Ben. Matchroom has Conor Ben still.
Hey, Shevin, do me a favour. Fuck off with that Conor Ben talk. Carry on, Jason.
Ultra, man, like, stop with that. You don't tell Sheva nothing. You stop with that bollocks. The air fucking Anthony Joshua doesn't have any right to even step into a ring with Usyk. I won big money on it before. The bookies are hardly ever wrong, bruv. Joshua does not beat Usyk in any fucking realm of reality. Usyk walks all over him. Joshua could have an 8-week camp with 30 different trainers or a 2-year camp, and Usyk could go to war and step into that fight without a training camp, and I swear to you, I'd still take Usyk to win that fight. I swear to you.
You know what, Jason? I
So
thought
wait, hold on, Jason. Shevin, let me spot in 1 second. Hold on. I think Jason's being a bit unfair here. So if Anthony Joshua gets knocked out, what about Johnny Fisher?
Johnny, what? Goggle Boss?
Yeah, Johnny Fisher. What about Johnny Fisher going to Vegas?
Johnny Fisher.
Matchroom are fucked. Hey, this is it. This is it now for Matchroom. Now we're going to find out they're fucked, you know. That's why I don't think Usyk can win. They're going to do everything. They're going to do everything to put Usyk. Listen, Eddie Hearn's going to have Russian snipers, yeah, overlooking Usyk's hotel, yeah, just before fight night. They're going to do everything they can because it really is now, yeah. At the end of the road, isn't it? It's the end of the line for Eddie Hearn, yeah. If this man gets KO'd.
That's it. All that.
I'm telling you right now, I was on Ultra. I thought that I know you're good. I thought that AJ would probably win the rematch until I saw two things. One, I saw how AJ was talking about his training camp and his team after the fight. That kind of concerned me recently. And then I see that Matchroom are severely doing whatever they can to delay the fight because as long, and they know once Anthony Joshua loses his next fight, that's a wrap for him being a huge commercial draw. It's back to the O2 after that. And let me just say that with this. I keep saying this over and over again. Losing a fight is not what kills your commercial value because all the great guys lost. Deontay Wilder lost Tyson Fury the last two fights. But, however, losing multiple times to guys who are non-commercial draws, i.e. a Ruiz or a Usyk, that will destroy your commercial value, which is why you don't put off fights versus Fury or Wilder. Because you lose to Wilder, no one gives a shit. You lose to Fury, no one gives a shit. But you lose to guys who don't speak English, or you lose to a fat Mexican, and you're fucked.
Jason, give us
one sec. Yeah. If Joshua loses to Usyk, yeah, that means he's lost 3 of his last 5 fights.
Yeah, but he's got a big dick, so who cares?
Yeah, no, massive schlong. Massive schlong.
But listen, Jason, the thing is, tonight I've come on, yeah? I'm not even bothered talking technical because I've realised all this technical talk and talking about, it's lost on these people. They don't care. All they see is mind games and resume. So I don't know what to say. All I'll say is this, Jason. Give us your final thoughts on the... First and foremost, final thoughts, and did this live up to your expectations? How did the fight, the promotion, did anything live up? Now that it's done and dusted, what do you think?
Well, I paid for the fight, which is the first fight in a long time. Just to try and get the numbers up to fuck Eddie Hearn, like I was happy. just to give
same, bro. I get my money.
I was like, yeah, definitely Frank's getting the score 5 from me. So yeah, I was happy, Tyson. It was never in doubt though, was it? Like, you know what I mean? It was never in doubt. It was mad. It was mad that so many like people who claim they are in boxing even thought this was a close fight. It was ridiculous. We knew what was happening. We knew the height and reach would just be ridiculous. He boxed his head off, taught him a lesson. That's it, really, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? I'm glad you're on the Ultra. Like, nice one, Shevin. Yeah.
All right, Jace. We'll see you tomorrow, man. We're gonna do all over again tomorrow because you know we like to kick people when they're down. No, we don't. But you know, listen, we have to we have to put the boot in. You muted yourself.
He's a piss taker. He's a piss taker. He fucked over the fans, man. The people that make the sport. Like, he proper done a wrong and, like, it's not fair. You don't do that. No one's done that in the history of boxing. No one likes getting 20%. But no one fucking fucks over the fans and doesn't turn up and shit. That's bollocks. Anyway, later on.
Peace out, my man. See you later, Jason. Jason, my brother there, he's out. Okay, let me bring in Victor. 1 sec. Victor, you need to turn on your microphone. You don't need to turn on your camera. We don't need to see you, Victor, but you need to unmute yourself and turn on your microphone. Otherwise, we cannot bring you in, Victor. So there it is. M came in, and then M ducked out. M, brother, if you want to come back, M, you're welcome to come back, my brother. Like I said, it's all good. Okay, he's dropped off. I think a few people... When you come on StreamYard, yeah, when you get the link and when you click the link, right, we don't need to see your face. We don't care about seeing your face. We're not tough guys. We don't do all that, show your face on the camera. We don't give a shit about that. Just make sure your mic's plugged in. So if you've got a phone, make sure you set it up so that... your phone's
we believe in 100% employee autonomy and remoteness here on this channel. Okay.
Hold on, let me just show you this, Shevin. Hold on, let's go through some more of these predictions. I'm gonna have to do a show tomorrow. I haven't even started yet. We have got 255 in the chat and only 104 likes. So you guys treating me like Tyson Fury treated Dillian Whyte tonight. You treated me like a complete bum, which is good to see. Please hit the like button if you can. Let's go through some of these predictions, Shevin. I got Whyte 10th round KO. I think Fury's bravery will get the better of his skill. And I can see Whyte landing a left hook and sparking Fury. I think Fury will be winning on points. Slightly up to slightly. Let me bring Victor in. Hold on. Victor, you're on.
Hello.
How you doing, my man? You all good?
Yeah, not too bad, kid. You?
Oh, same old. All right, go on, Victor. Give us the rundown, Victor. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what. It was to be expected.
Go on, keep talking, Victor. Go for it.
Yeah, it was to be expected. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, if you keep getting banged up the pipe there, like, yeah, we'll go back to when I was 6 years of age, yeah, and I used to be a bit of a naughty kid. My old fella used to come in with a crack, yeah, on the left or the right, yeah. I tell you what, he only took him twice, and I started covering out and watching up for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. He's never mind that here. He's advising him in fucking gin, man. Fuck.
He was gassed. He was gassed, wasn't he, Victor? He looked gassed after round 2, to be honest.
I tell you what, a lot more fuck than me, and I'm 53.
What do you think, Victor, about him not promoting the fight? Do you think now he's looked a bit silly? Do you think he'll regret it, or maybe not? He's got his 8 million. He can walk off now.
He's got his till, yeah, but he's got his till. But if he went with Hearn, he'd be doing all the donkey work, yeah, and getting paid less.
Simple as that.
Doing all the donkey work, yeah, and getting paid less.
Do you do me a favour, Victor? Can you turn me down in the background, because we can all hear you echoing? I don't know if it's possible, but that's the issue. Can you turn me down in the background, because we can all hear you echoing?
I've turned you down.
All right, okay, all right. We can hear a lot of echoing.
So I mean, I can't understand it. It's fucking foolish, mate. I can't understand it. When he come out and doing that, oh, God, they're the top this side.
Teen Wolf, baby.
Go on, the lone wolf at it again, isn't it? Ooh, Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Victor, hold on for a second, Victor. Hold on. I think you're forgetting
fucking
something.
blokes off his tree.
Victor, I think you and Ultra and a few guys in the chat are not being fair to Dillian Whyte, okay? Dillian Whyte just got knocked out with a vicious uppercut by Tyson Fury, okay? We've seen Dillian Whyte in Barry Hearn's back garden get knocked out by Quebec with the uppercut, and he came back and he righted the wrong. So why can't he right this wrong?
Yeah. Victor, do you want to see a rematch, Victor? What do you think about the rematch? Let's do it all over again.
Well, I'd rather rewatch a fucking Z Cars or something, mate. Oh, yeah. Fucking bollocks.
Let's charge you.
Don't fucking got a dodgy box.
All right, Victor, final words on Dillian. Where does he go from now, Victor? Final words. Where does he go?
Where's he go? I hope he goes home and fucking finds his tooth. He'll be in the ring later on trying to find his tooth somewhere. Him and Dean. Fucking idiots. Anyhow, over and out. Peace out.
See you later, mate. See you later. If you would like to call in, please call in. I'm surprised, Shevin. I genuinely thought we were going to get loads of Dillian fans coming in. Guys, can you guys do me a favour? Because I'm doing this show. If you can get me some of these Dillian Whyte predictions and screenshots, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Because, you know, I should have saved them. But there were a whole load. People were sending me, Shevin, this stuff on Twitter, you know, about, you know, the mind games getting to Fury and all this stuff. And Dillian looking on top, Shevin. Yeah. Come on, Joe. Joe, if you want to come on, come on. Everybody call in. Everybody just call in. Just call in. What's the problem?
All you gotta do, Ultra, rehash that Luis Ortiz, Derek Chisora press conference video you did years ago. Read the comments from that one. If those people still alive.
Jesus, fuck! I actually remember that. Right, here we go. Hold on. Sorry, you can't even see the screen. Here we go. Let me guess. Fury winning on points and gets caught with a left hook and KO'd. It's like, Jesus Christ Almighty. We're gonna see what happens here. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Let's go, Dillian. I think it's funny how people think Fury's going to steamroll Whyte. This isn't going to be an easy... Do you hear this one, Shevin? Fury's going to have to pick himself off the floor. Yo, Fury's going to have to pick him up. Yo, this... this is going to be tough. You know, this ain't going to be easy.
Dillian don't have skinny legs. Dillian doesn't have skinny legs like Wilder. He's got big legs.
Let me get Joe in. Hold on.
Hey, I'm
Joe.
going to jump off and listen to you guys. Go ahead, Joe.
Too
Okay,
funny.
go on, Joe.
Too funny.
Go on, Joe.
Oh my god. I was going to say,
Shevan's jumped off. Go on.
yeah. First of all, big up Shevan because he made 2 correct predictions. He first of all his prediction on the fight. I actually agreed. I predicted the same thing. But his second prediction was that they'd never get in the ring together. And I think this is absolutely correct because it's just like AJ versus Reese. That I refuse to believe that was Dillian Whyte. That is a clone.
Oh,
that is a fucking
do you know
clone.
what? Do you know what?
It's
Shevan
gotta
kind of
be.
was right. I mean, Dillian might as well not bother getting in the fucking ring tonight, with all due
Yeah.
respect. I mean, comes in, turns out the first round fucking southpaw. I mean, listen. I mean, people talk about Tyson Fury, the mind games from Dillian Whyte. The truth is, the mind games got to Dillian because he turned up in the first round, and you hear him keep talking about and needing to be adaptable, and we understand that, right? But I mean, talk about who's in whose head. I mean, the man came out and turned southpaw. The thing about him is he's got no feet. You know, he's got no. Most southpaws have some degree of balance and some feet. He got no. I mean, listen, there's no point in having a guy turn southpaw. His balance is bad enough as it is, right? I mean, I just don't understand it. So that's ironic. People talk about mind games. Well, the one who actually mind games worked was Fury, because Dillian Whyte was the one who come out and felt he needed to turn southpaw in the first round to try and show Fury some kind of different look, and it looked fucking dreadful. Sorry, Joe, carry on. It looked dreadful.
No, it's fucking hilarious because it's like you said. You know, we talk to these people online and they just say, "Oh, Dillian's going to land that magical left hook and and spark Fury clean out." And then the obvious comeback is, well, how is he going to do that? How is he going to work his way in
We
there?
asked that, didn't we?
And I can picture all these people, all their asses are probably flapping when they saw Dillian come out fucking southpaw first round. They're like, "Oh shit, what the fuck's he doing?"
You can see it. Here, look at the screen. Dillian is going to shock the boxing world. Again, quick question, Joe. I mean, listen, anything can happen in boxing genuinely, right? I would never say Dillian had no chance. I didn't believe Dillian had no chance of winning. That's ridiculous, right? I didn't believe anything can happen in boxing. But all I'll say is this, and I think I've got this up on the screen right now. People keep saying Dillian Whyte's going to land this left hook, right? Quick question. Fury's reach is 85, his reach is 78. And there's like a 5-inch difference in fucking height. It's going to be pretty fucking difficult to land that hook if Fury keeps him at the end of his punches, right? And what did Fury do? Kept him at the end of the shots. And he couldn't get near him. From round 1 to 6, he could not close the distance. Now, what do you need in boxing when you're dealing with somebody who's got the height and the reach and you need to close distance? Quick feet and balance, which Dillian has none of those things. Carry on, Joe, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely neither of them. Well, I think the main problem that we've got here is that unfortunately Fury was just about 10 or 11 years too old to fight Whyte at this point. I think he's not exactly Marius Vac, or he's not exactly like Povetkin.
I'm not even sure.
Like that.
I'm not. Listen, to be honest, the jury's still out for me on who. I'm still not sure Fury can beat Usyk, but I'll have to wait and see it. But that performance, I mean, I genuinely think Dillian sold himself a bit short there. Sorry, Joe. I'm sorry to keep talking over you. What do you think about Dillian's lack of promotion? I think looking back at this, he's gonna. I mean, he won't have too many regrets because look, he made a few million. He deserved the money. He got in there, he risked his life. I won't begrudge him that, but I just think all the comical bullshit he was talking about, all the arbitration garbage, the split, the not turning up to press conferences, these stupid mind games. It's embarrassing. It's just a fucking embarrassment. And to be honest, Joe, I think Dillian Whyte fans have embarrassed themselves because he's come in the ring tonight. And he was not even remotely competitive. He was not even remote. Like Otto Warlin, who everybody slagged off. Warlin was more competitive than Dillian Whyte. Tom Schwartz was more competitive than Dillian Whyte. I mean, it's embarrassing. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, wait one sec. Hold on. Is my mic working? Yeah. I was just gonna say it's funny though now because I mean, as you say, Eddie's now up shit creek without a paddle as far as his heavyweights go. He's probably sat there in his house right now, teeth are grinding. He's turned to Frank Smith, who's probably battered and bruised. He's just done another 6 rounds early, and he's probably turned to him and he's gone. Frank, call Howard. Like he's getting Howard Foster. He's lining them all up. He like his ass is flapping. He's shitting bricks now.
Hey, AJ, let me say this, Joe. I'll get your final thoughts, Joe. Before we do, look at this, Joe. I hope Dillian shaves his head. Bold Dillian is undefeated. That's a legit comment, bro. I hope Dillian shaves his head. Bold Dillian is undefeated. Joe, your final thoughts on... Joe, I tell you, I thought the pay-per-view was shit. I thought the build-up was shit. And I thought the fight was shit. It was just shit from the beginning. It was pure pedigree chub. I was convinced this was going to be a good fight, that, Whyte was going to come in, give it an absolute go, leave no stone unturned. I just thought the whole thing was an embarrassment from top to bottom. A complete money grab. Carry on, Joe. Give us your final thoughts.
It's a real shame. And now I kind of like, with AJ Usyk off in the distance somewhere, God knows when that's going to happen. They've just announced, the next big fight is going to be, Parker versus Joyce? Well, that's going to be a great press conference. That's going to be even shitter than Fury versus no one in a press conference. That's going to be fucking wank. They're not going to open their mouths like, oh.
Well, in true Frank Warren fashion, they've announced what Parker versus Joyce, but both of them haven't signed. Yeah. So Frank Warren really is back to his pomp, innit? It really is. Frank Warren really has rolled back the years and gone back to his prime. That's when Frank Warren's at his best, when he's announcing fights, when the fighters haven't even fucking signed.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, thank you very much, my man. You come on tomorrow. Come on tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
Come on tomorrow, brother. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Cheers, man. Sorry, Toby.
No, hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not too bad, Toby. Okay, I just want to quickly say before, Toby, if anybody else would like to call in and give their opinion, I hope you guys think I'm not being too hard. Look, like I said before, Dillian put in the performance, he put the performance in, but I just think after all that talk, Toby, I mean, we waited 2 years for this. We've had 2 years of Fury's
1,000 days.
1,000 days of mandatory. And for it to end in the way it did, I mean, I thought it was going to end explosively. I thought, honestly, I thought it was going to end either way. I thought there's no way this fight's going a distance. It's going to be explosive, It's going to be. That's why I wasn't really bothered about the undercard, Toby, because I thought, but you know what? The undercard don't matter. All people care about is the main event. This is going to be explosive, and that was a damp squib. That was truly fucking. That was the equivalent, of Jennifer Aniston sneaking into your bedroom in the middle of the night, and all you have to offer her is a four incher in the dribble. That was absolute. That was shocking. That was absolutely shocking. Go on, Toby. That was shocking.
Glorified
sparring. That was glorified sparring. Yeah. Toby, people have paid tonight $24.99.
I paid $24.99.
And 94,000 people tonight turned up to watch glorified sparring. Come down to my gym. You will see better sparring than what you saw tonight. You'll actually get your money's worth. That was embarrassing. Sorry, Toby. Sorry.
A point you raised earlier about you just like not having any sort of like sweat or stress or worry when Fury was in the ring. I was
not after the first round. Not after the first round.
Yeah.
After that first round, bone dry, Toby. Not even worried.
Yeah, no, I was the same in all three of the last wild fights. I as you said, change your t-shirt every round. That was me. But then this time, after the first round, I thought, it's all right. Because the thing is, my prediction was Fury stoppage in the 9th round with it being relatively competitive. But then after the first round, I realised, what the fuck is Whyte doing? He's going southpaw. And I thought, he's done.
Oh, God. Hold on. Jason Walker saying Saturday night, I can't read that because it's about somebody else. Don't mention the name. Don't mention the name. Hold on. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, my God.
I watched that video. I saw that. Yeah.
I mean, it's just so bad. Toby, I keep saying it. British boxing is an absolute fucking disgrace, and I think British boxing.
We've got
British boxing. Listen, Anthony Joshua is holding the British boxing in the palm of his hand right now because if he gets he's the last. He really is. I mean, Fury, you never know. He might retire. He might do what? He might go on a bender. You never know with Fury. I think Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. I still think Usyk might be the guy who really unifies.
I think if anyone's going to beat Fury at this point, it's Usyk. No, I don't think anyone else. Even still, that's a 70-30 fight for me.
But let me tell you right now. Right, British boxing. Right, I'm officially jumping on the Anthony Joshua bandwagon now. Anthony, please come back and save us, Lord Big Cock Anthony Joshua. Yeah, Lord
boxing for life. Is that?
Yes, it. Lord BLM, Lord Black Lives Matter, Anthony Joshua. Anthony, if you're listening, mate, I regret everything bad I ever said about you. You really are better than Lennox Lewis, just like the fanboy said you were. You really are better than Lennox Lewis. You really are the man. You really are a gangster, Anthony. Don't listen to any people like Jason Walker who say you just sold a bit of weed on Watford High Street. Don't listen to any of those people.
Watford Town Centre,
Anthony, you're a real gangster. You're a real G. You're a real gangster, just like Big Meech and Larry Hoover. Now, please do us a favour and please come back and save British boxing because British boxing's a fucking disgrace. We're serving up glorified sparring for $24.99, 94,000 people coming up and really believe that this guy was going to, but Dillian's got a left hook, despite the fact that, Marius Wack was giving this guy, Robert Helenius buzzed this guy with a fucking jab. How do you go from getting jabbed? How do you go The Dillian Whyte, you know, let me say this, so I'm going to let you talk. Dillian Whyte needs to, Eddie Hearn's out here writing relentless books. Dillian Whyte needs to write a book. Dillian Whyte needs to run a business management book. I want to know how you get buzzed off a jab by Robert Hellenius, yeah? I want to know how you get buzzed off a jab by Robert Hellenius and then fucking 5 years later find yourself howling, yeah, at the entrance of the Wembley Stadium. If anybody should be giving us business lessons, yeah, it should be Dillian Whyte. Final thoughts, Toby?
Well, I mean, the one thing about Robert Hellenius, he is a massive puncher, so it's not like any surprise he got buzzed, but it's the fact he got caught by him, I think, is the more the issue. Like, if you're going to get hit by Robert Hellenius, you're going to get hurt, but it's being hit by him when he's probably slower than Whyte.
Final thought, where does Dillian Whyte go from here? And Toby, what do you think about Dillian Whyte's failure to... Jack, by the way, Jack, you'll be on next, Jack, by the way. So you'll be on next, Jack. What do you think about Dillian's failure to promote this fight and how it's going to look and whatnot? Apparently, he didn't even give a post-fight interview. He just went out of the arena and
he did. Yeah, he left the
I just
arena.
think that the conduct's it's just so bad. Anyway, go on, Toby.
Well, I mean, the lack of direction. Seven was saying earlier that even like Wilder, he lost, but people want to see him in fights because he was there. He showed up to all the things. He did stay silent through it all, but he was there, and then it was a close fight in the third one as well. But then my other thing was the American audience that would have been watching because of Tyson Fury, right? Their only experience with Dillian Whyte is fighting Malcolm Town in front of 3 people and watching him get starched by Tyson Fury. There was no media or anything they would have watched of him. So there is no interest in Dillian Whyte versus any American fighter. So that's why none of the like the Ruiz fight won't happen, Wilder fight won't happen, Ortiz fight probably won't happen. Or like Jared Anderson, or all of those people, those fights won't happen because there's no interest in it now. But if Whyte showed up to the media and presented himself and showed himself to the Americans who might have been watching, then those fights are there for him. But they're not anymore. So now it's probably wait a couple of years to fight Johnny Fisher.
Toby, thank you very much, Toby, and it will be Johnny Fisher next. Take care. See you tomorrow. Come on tomorrow. Take care, bro.
Oh, sure. Yeah. All right. See you later.
Jack. How we doing? I remember you, Jack. You said you would call in. How you doing, brother? You all good?
Yes, mate. All good, Ultra. How's it going?
Let me tell you, I promise you, Jack, if Fury had lost tonight, honestly, I would have come on and I'd have given Whyte credit because it is what it is. To be honest, I'm not even that bothered. The only thing I'm bothered for, Jack, and I'll let you talk away, is I just think British boxing is a clown show at the minute because I can't believe I fucking paid $24.99 for that. That was, for me, glorified sparring. I know you're a big Dillian fan. Do you think, I mean, obviously it's difficult. You know Dillian's a warrior. He's a fighter. I never questioned Dillian, but when he looks back at that, do you think he'll think, I gave that everything. I left everything unturned?
Well, where'd you start? I mean, I've only just picked up the stream. I've been on the phone to my mate since the fight ended, and I came straight to your stream because I wanted to get on, and because that, how do I say? You know when there's like a narrative and the people are like in the wrong and they won't call in. And I thought, I've got to go to Ultra Stream. And even though Dillian's lost, I'm a Dillian fan. I've got to put my voice out there, even though I'm on the losing side.
No, go on, talk away. We'll listen.
But, I mean, when you look at it, what you just said, £25, was it worth it tonight? No. Did the Wembley fans get the money? No, they didn't.
Not at all. Carry on.
But as a Dillian fan, mate, I'm gutted. I'm gutted for him because I think he didn't put his best foot forward tonight. But I don't think it wasn't necessarily didn't put his best foot forward. I just think, as they say, stars make fights, and he was completely all wrong for Fury, or Fury was completely all wrong for him. Couldn't work his way inside that jab. Couldn't negotiate the distance. And one thing I've noticed with Dillian, and I'm sure it's fucking obvious to everyone now, I've seen a lot of, I'm not saying I'm a boxing expert, but I've seen a lot of boxing fights, and I've played rugby, and I've seen a lot of knockouts. I've never seen anyone so susceptible to one punch on one part of his head as Dillian Whyte has to the uppercut. Oh my God, does that fucking turn his lights out? I mean, it wasn't even a massive punch. It was just on the right spot on Dillian.
Can I just say one thing, Jack? By the way, the chat is saying fair play to you. I don't know if you can see the comments, but people are saying.
I can see him come through now.
Yeah, they're saying it's fair play. Jack, the thing with Dillian is he's got bad balance and he's got bad feet. And the one thing I was I felt a lot of other places didn't mention. They were talking about mind games, resumes, and all this bollocks, right? And I just simply was just looking at the tail of the tape. And when you're dealing with someone, Jack, who's got that much reach and that much height, it's so important that you have good balance and quick feet, because if you don't, you lunge in. And Dillian was lunging. You see him missing. He was lunging in. And unfortunately, I mean, to be fair, Jack, his head didn't come over his front foot today. So he has made a slight improvement. I mean, he squared himself up, but that was the problem, wasn't it? I mean, if he wasn't going to get inside Fury, he hasn't got great balance. He's known to throw himself off. You saw tonight, Jack, when he was throwing those overhand rights and Fury was ducking them. You see how off balance Whyte was? He was falling over the place. And you can't have balance like that when you've got the height against you, the punch powers against you, the reaches against you. You can't come in with that kind of balance, and you got wiped out, Jack. Sorry, I'll mute myself. Carry on.
No, mate. I enjoy your take on it. Do you know what? When I watch your streams, Ultra, since we spoke after the Kelbrook Khan fight, I find like it's just opinions in it, and like I don't take anything to heart. I do find myself 50-50, like 50% of the time I'm like Ultra's bang on, 50% of the time I'm like, oh, you know, I'm not sure if I agree with that. But I 100% agree with what you're saying here. And this is as a Dillian Whyte fan. What I would say is the narrative that gets pushed, mind games and all that, especially for this fight, not talking about other fights, like that's just something that comes from people like TalkSport, Sky, BT, you know, sometimes Frank Warren. You know, I don't think that necessarily is like intended from Dillian Whyte's camp. I just think Dillian, you know, he's like, yeah, I haven't got a fucking ticket for my mum, so I'm not fucking showing up to the press conference. And that's all he said, you know, in the media. But I'm sure that he said there's a couple of other things as well. But in terms of the fight itself, you know, you bang on. I think Dillian just got frustrated. He couldn't find a way. He couldn't find an answer to that jab, that reach. And, you know, when he got to the fifth round, the round before he got knocked out, you could see he started to get a little bit frustrated, throwing some wild shots that were never going to land, that were telegraphed from fucking Muhammad Ali from the 60s or something. It was like Fury had an age to fucking slip out the way. Like, I'm not even a fucking heavyweight boxer, and I think I could have fucking slipped that. But yeah, I just think he got frustrated, and that, I'm telling you, man, that uppercut, I've never seen anything like it. Like I said, I've watched a lot of boxing fights. I've never seen anyone be so susceptible to one punch. It's so bizarre. That one just turns his lights out. I was gutted, mate. And like, I can deal with Dillian losing. I like Tyson Fury. Like, I'm not gutted he won because I like him, and he's, you know, and Whyte was up against it. I thought Fury would win on points, although I backed Whyte on the cards because of the odds. But I didn't see a knockout, especially the way it went. So I'm just gutted for him because of all the work he's put in. And there's been a lot worse heavyweight champions than Dillian Whyte, but he just came up against not only a bad star matchup, but a much better boxer and a much better heavyweight. So fair play to Tyson Fury. I'm gutted for Dillian Whyte, but I just can't. I turned it off after the knockout because I can't deal with the Frank Warren show, all the aftermath saying he didn't deserve to be in there. So I couldn't deal with that.
Jack, did Frank say that? Did Frank say?
No, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch.
Oh,
the
I see.
Right, I literally, like I said, I turned it off because for someone who loves Dillian so much, I couldn't even deal with it because, you know, as a Dillian fan, I felt a little bit disrespect before the fight, like it's the Fury show and all that. And when I felt like Dillian deserved to be there, you know, after the fight, it kind of looked like that way. But I just couldn't deal with, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the commentators' reactions.
Jack, let me ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
One thing I like about you is I know that you're not going to blow smoke up my ass. So if you disagree, you're going to say it. Let me ask you directly about this. What do you think about my opinion that Dillian Whyte was extremely badly advised in the run-up to this fight? That somebody, most likely Eddie Hearn, in my opinion, because if you go back and look at Josh Taylor and Ahara Davis, very, very similar situation, where Ahara Davis was told not to promote the fight. And he also went in there, didn't perform, and got himself blasted out of there as well. Do you think that Dillian has been very, very badly advised? Because, Jack, I tell you one thing that concerned me about Dillian in the run-up to this fight. he never behaved like somebody. I know he believed he could win, but he never, to me, behaved like somebody who was going to win, who believed and had conviction that he was going to win. And look, it doesn't really matter. It comes down to boxing at the end of the day, right? But what I was going to say is, for me, the one thing I had problem with Dillian was, if you really believe that you are going to beat Fury and that Fury's been ducking you, you go over there, you promote the show, you turn up to the press conferences, you allow ESPN to use your images. Yeah, you try and do something in America, you knock Fury out, you take his fans, you go back to the zone with Eddie Hearn, and you are the man. And you go back to the zone and you take a whole new army of fans. Fans say, that's the guy that believed he was going to beat Fury. He went in there and he knocked him out, or he went in there and he gave it all. And as a result, I think, and you let me know if you think I'm wrong, I think someone's got in his ear, and I think someone's advised him terribly. And as a result, he's got off a plane from Algarve. He's turned up to Wembley Stadium 2 days before the biggest fight of his career. Never came and saw the stadium. Never came and saw the surroundings in the weeks and months before. He's turned up. He's put in a nothing performance. He got himself highlight reel knocked out. He's got a lot of money, so he'll be absolutely fine, because all these boxers, Jack, to be honest, they're all bums and they all blow their money on hookers and cocaine. So Dillian Whyte's going to be set up for the rest of his life, so you don't have to worry. He will be set up for the rest of his life. He's a smart man, Dillian. He doesn't overspend. He sits at home playing Xbox all day, and he lives in quite humble surroundings. So Dillian will be fine. But do you think, Jack, looking back on it, you know, I know Warren hasn't been perfect, and we can talk about that. He can give you opinions, but do you think he's been advised? Because to me, like I said, Jack, if you believe you're going to win, you go over there, you promote the fight, you get a bigger fan base, you knock the number one guy out on the biggest stage, take his fans, and go with Eddie Hearn to the zone. Go on, Jack.
No, I disagree. From what I've seen of Dillian throughout his career, whatever fight it is, like it's like, do you remember when Dillian fought Anthony Joshua? This is what makes me laugh about heavyweight boxing and Dillian's story. Do you remember when he fought Anthony Joshua? He was the bad guy. You know, he was the villain, or Dillian the villain, or whatever. Like Eddie Hearn, you could tell written all over his face, he fucking hated this guy. But after, it became, you know what, I've got a fucking heavyweight here who I can promote, and he can be on the big shows and draw people to a crowd. And Dillian took his chance, although he didn't like Hearn himself. Like, it became a business relationship with Hearn. And that's kind of been Dillian's story throughout the whole thing in terms of boxing and the I think what's been more interesting about Dillian is his business side of the boxing than the actual fights. You know, he's had his own two different stories in that sense. But I don't think it affected Dillian. Like, only he knows whether the way he's played it has had an effect on the result. I personally don't think it has. I think by what I've seen, and like I said, you know, I'm a Dillian fan. I think from what I've seen of how Dillian's played it, he's played it perfectly. I think he's thought, right, Queensberry are promoting me. I've got no relationship with Queensberry or Frank Warren. I feel like I've been mugged off in the purse. I feel like I've been mugged off in terms of, like I said at the start, his mum not getting tickets, and that was the reason why he didn't fly over. I think it had nothing to do with mind games. He just thought, look, you meet me halfway and I'll play ball. And then when they met him halfway, and whatever concessions they gave him, he turned up in fight week and he promoted it like a professional. I just genuinely think, and it hurts, it kind of hurts me to say it, but I like Tyson Fury as well, and I love Tyson Fury as a boxer. And for me, it proved tonight, like, to do that to Dillian Whyte, there's no doubt, like, he's probably the best heavyweight boxer ever. Like, if you put any heavyweight boxer ever that's ever lived in a ring with him, I think Fury would beat him. I just think it was a bad. I just think it was a bad matchup for Dillian, and I just think Fury was the better man. I don't think it's got anything to do with the build-up, because I think Whyte, he would have gone in there to win tonight, but it wasn't a case of who's the better fighter. It was just Fury was by far the better boxer, and that was the result we got tonight.
Let me ask you, Jack. Can I ask you a question? Do you think tonight has proven that all this talk about mind games and resumes in particular, has this kind of stuff changed your opinion on this resumes? Oh, Jack, you know me. I always say when these guys are boxing, they're not eating each other with pieces of paper. What do you think?
Mate, I'm the same as you, right? I'm the same as you. Like, I mean, you know boxing, and most of the time, I like this is one of the things I agree with you on. Like, just because, look, for example, Conor Benn, right? His resume right now says Van Heerden, Ortiz, whatever, XX and X, and on the resume, it would look handy. But for people who really know boxing, David Haye, Tony Bellew, perfect example. Like David Haye beat a 6'10" Valuev. He was beating heavyweights. So on resume, like, you know, David Haye wins the fight, but I actually bet on Bellew to win the fight in the final 3 rounds. I bet £5 on it, and I think I won 150 quid or whatever. Because I was like, I just think Bellew wins the fight. Like, who cares about resumes? I'm the same as you. It does mean something, and it means absolutely nothing at the end of the day. But like, I just think the way it comes across in the media, I don't think mind games play a huge role. Sometimes they do. But resumes, sometimes you know a resume means something, and sometimes you really know a resume means nothing, depending on their resume. I mean, your eyes don't lie when you watch a boxer and you watch boxing fights and the fights they've been in.
Exactly.
We all know, as real boxing fans, like Eddie Hearn can tell you something about Conor Benn, but we all really know, like Cole Froch, for all of his faults, said it. He's like, and I completely agree. It's not that, you know, you're fighting these past whoever's. It's not that you win the European title. It's the fact that you've had to actually earn the European title and the experience you gain from fighting someone 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rounds against a good opponent. And you thought at one point in the fight, oh, he might lose this. And he comes through and he wins. And when you step up to that level of like world title shot, whatever, it's that experience that you've gained along the way that really, really counts from when they really step up. So imagine if Ben was to step up. Can I just say something at Ultra? And I want to get your opinion on this. And I like Conor Benn as a fighter. I don't like his swagger, so to speak, outside the ring, but he's entertaining to watch. Don't think you can deny that. But the fact that Eddie Hearn keeps calling him a superstar, I'm thinking in my head, can we just define what a fucking superstar is? Because a superstar is someone to me like Conor McGregor or whatever. And God knows, every single interview when Hearn talks about Conor Benn, he mentions the word superstar. I'm like, he's got 300,000 followers on Instagram. Like, he just about sold out the Manchester Arena. He's just on his path.
Listen, Jack,
He's not a superstar.
You're absolutely right, Jack. Let me just ask you a question. Someone's asked you a question in the chat. I'm going to let you keep talking. All right.
Go on.
It's Atez Raja. Question for Jack. Who does White fight next? What would you want to see next from Dillian? How would you build him back up, Jack? How would you build him back up?
I think Dillian. I don't know. I mean, he could easily retire. I think he can still. I mean, people will view his career how they view it. I mean, if he retired, I would still have the utmost respect for him and what he's achieved and how far he's come and the money he's earned and how he conducted himself. And if he wanted to retire, I think people would still respect him for the most part. But I think he'd have to not apply, however you'd call it. I think he'd have to fight for another belt. And he'd have to wait till the belts are fragmented. It's what his motivation is. I mean, Dillian is still a draw, isn't he? I mean, fucking hell, Chisora is still earning £1 million for fights. So if Chisora's still earning £1 million for fights, then Dillian is too. It really just depends on Dillian. Does he win a world title again? My heart probably says no. I mean, he's probably thought, fuck me, it's taken me 4 years just to get a shot at this title. Like, you know, I'm just happy for him in a sense that he did actually get his world title shot in front of Wembley, got paid a load of money. It's just a shame that, and like he said before the fight, like, just my luck, you know, I could have fought Charles Martin, but by the time I got a shot, it was fucking Fury. So, it's just the way it goes for him.
Jack, thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming on. We're going to bring somebody else on. You going to come on again?
Yeah, mate. Do you know what, mate? I'm a sucker, like, for my heart in boxing. So
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Every time I want a fighter to win, they fucking lose.
Mate, it's horrible, you know. And like I said before, you know.
But mate, I watch the streams. I enjoy it. Like I said, sometimes I disagree with you, but I enjoy it, mate. So keep it going.
Well, go speak soon. Let's have a disagreement about Anthony Joshua and Usyk, because that's going to be coming on very soon.
Mate,
So
I think we're on. From what I've heard of you, I think we're on the fucking same opinion of that.
I think AJ's actually going to put it off. I really think he's going to put it off.
Mate, in my opinion now, AJ not only can't take a good shot, but is scared to take a good shot. If he just fights like he used to, like, he probably wins the fight, but I don't think he's got confidence in his chin anymore. And plus, part of me what thinks is, as they say, it's hard to go for a run in silk pajamas. I think that's I think he's come down with the silk pajamas 19, old AJ. So we'll see.
We'll see. Jack, hopefully we'll see you soon, brother. I really appreciate it, mate.
Nice one, Ultra. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, anytime, my brother, anytime. All right,
peace, mate.
Soon, there's Jack. Steve, you're up next. What I like about Jack, what I like about Jack is Jack just comes on and gives his own. He doesn't get influenced by me. He comes on every time. He's like, Ultra, I disagree with you on this and that. Jack's a really good guy, man. I've got a lot of time for Jack, and I hope he. It's never nice when your favorite fighter loses. It's never nice, you know. Listen, I was very, very worried about this fight up until the first round. After the first round, I was bone dry, because for me, that was glorified sparring. Steve, let me unmute Steve. Steve, unmute yourself. Steve, how are we doing today, Steve?
Oh, what's good, Ultra? How are you? You okay?
What? Go on, Steve. What island are you from?
Mate, I'm from Great Britain, you know. I'm from Great Britain, you know.
Great Britain? Yeah, we're all from Great Britain, but we was all brought here. We all came here on boats from Commonwealth. What island are you from?
No comment.
Okay, I come from the same one as Nigel Ben. All right, Steve, I'm going to mute myself. Steve, give us your opinion on what you saw tonight there. What do you think, Steve? Just go for it.
It was a whitewash, wasn't it? It was an absolute whitewash. He got dominated. It was a bit of a weird fight. Like, I don't know what it was, but I never was convinced by White throughout the fight week. Like, there wasn't that conviction in him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they just didn't feel right. And then after the first round, that was it. Like, the first round, you could see straight away, there's no way he can win this. Do you know what I'm saying? Because Fury just had it. He was just pinging shots any way he wanted. And then when he started going to the body as well, that was it. That was it. The body shot.
That was very, Fury with the body. What do you think? I mean, I'm not sure Tyson Fury is still the fighter he was, to be honest. Maybe I'll talk about that another time. I'm not convinced Fury's this unbeatable guy. I just think his level's above Dillian Whyte. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure. To me, he wouldn't do that to Usyk, and I don't even think he'd do that to Anthony Joshua. But that's a discussion for another day. Do you think Fury ever really got out of second or third gear tonight against Whyte?
Not at all. If you look at the stoppage shot, you'll see that he didn't even dip low with the uppercut.
No,
it was just
you're right.
an uppercut.
You're absolutely right. Dillian Whyte did not actually, and that's how Dillian Whyte's been getting knocked out of uppercuts, because his head comes over his front foot. But he didn't even do that tonight. It was just a straight uppercut as he squared up. Carry on, Steve.
Yeah. No, that was it. It was just a straight shot, and then that was it. That was it. Good night. He didn't even break a sweat. You could see on Fury's face there was no marks, nothing. It was easy night work. Like, what was disappointing about the fight was that it just wasn't competitive at all. That was the sad thing about it. You know, with all the build-up, you would want something a bit more competitive. That Chisora was more competitive than that, which is sad. But
carry on, Steve. I think Otto Warren and Tom Schwartz were more competitive than that. That for me was. I mean, the way Fury. I mean, we know what Fury's like. I mean, people said to me, "Ultra, this is going to look like Chisora 2." I said, "You're crazy. It's not going to look like Chisora 2. That Fury's gone." And Fury just come up, and the way he was just touching him up and setting him up for shots, it was quite sad to watch, to be honest. Let me ask you, Steve. I want to ask you about. Go on. Go on, Steve. Talk.
What do you think White did wrong? Like, obviously, like, what do you think he did? What did he do wrong to come to this fight? Was it the weight, or what do you think the main thing or just like the wrong game plan? Do you think?
To me, White fucked up in the first round, because if you look at the first round, He let Tyson Fury get into a rhythm. And it's exactly the same thing that Anthony Joshua did to Oleksandr Usyk. If you go and watch the Oleksandr Usyk versus Anthony Joshua, that was the best round that Oleksandr Usyk could ever have hoped for. He managed to push Anthony Joshua out of the center of the ring, have him on the back foot, and he had it, and he was able to fight at his pace and his rhythm. Dillian Whyte should have come in, and the whole point of Dillian was he was supposed to be a disruptor. Yeah, he was supposed to be a disruptor. He was supposed to come in. For me, I would have liked to see a little bit more punch output. I would like to see quicker feet, all sorts. But you know what happened to Dillian Whyte? Honestly, and I don't want to be disrespectful, because if I saw Dillian, bruv, trust me, I'm legging it. I wouldn't even have the balls to look Dillian Whyte in the eye. So let me just tell you that right now. Dillian Whyte's a real man. I'm not. But let me tell you honestly now. I honestly think, that the occasion probably got to him a little bit. You know, he's got in that ring.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
He's got in that ring, and you could see straight away the way he was standing on Fury. And it's like, look, bro, I was thinking in my head, bro, you've got 2 rounds really to start disrupt. Unless you're going to land a lucky shot, But if you're not going to land a lucky shot, you've got a couple of rounds now to really get into Fury, throw everything, get into it. But if you look at the first round, for me, there wasn't enough urgency. Fury got into rhythm. Fury was able to pick up his timing, and that was the end of it. You can't, bro, you can't let these guys have got height, reach, power. He had every advantage going. Bro, you let him settle down in the first round and pick up his timing. What the fuck, man?
That's a fantastic point, because if you look at the Wilder fight, the last fight, right? That's exactly what happened. The first round, Wilder won the first round. He came out and he gave it his all. He didn't let away. He didn't let Fury get into any rhythm whatsoever. That's such a great point.
But what do you think about what people saying, slagging off Wilder and saying how this is going to be so much tougher for Fury, and how Dillian's a much better raw riding fighter than Wilder? Those people, to me, they're just a fucking embarrassment. I mean, Deontay Wilder is in a whole nother planet to Dillian Whyte, in my opinion. It's a whole nother planet.
100%. This fight shows you how good Wilder is. And it's a shame. I really hope Wilder doesn't retire, because even Fury said after the Wilder fight that Wilder is number 2. Because he was saying Wilder would beat any of these guys. And I believe him, to be honest. Imagine if Wilder got to Whyte first. Come on. Come on, man. Can you imagine if he got to Whyte first? No, that would have been... Nah, man. Nah.
Steve, what do you think about where we are with British boxing? I mean, I've slagged off AJ, but as I've said right now, I need AJ to come back. I need AJ to win, because, bro, I'm not being funny. If British boxing embarrasses itself anymore, I'm gonna have to shut down this YouTube channel, bro. People charge $24. I paid $24.99. I didn't even watch the undercard, because the undercard was atrocious, right? But I thought, look, this fight's gonna be a dogfight. I thought it's gonna be a dogfight, innit, bro? I'll be honest with you. I might as well have sat on a dildo for $24.99. I feel absolutely shafted, bro. I feel shafted. Like, British boxing is a disgrace, bro. We hold a big event, 94,000 people turn up. One of the guys don't even want to turn up for any of the press conferences. Rocks up, He rocks up in it, like fucking Patrick Truman from EastEnders. He rocks up in his top about fucking 2 days, bro. We're supposed to be professionals. He rocks up to Wembley Stadium, 2 days on a late plane. 2 days before the event, talking about all I want is war. All I want is the violence to start. And the man goes in,
He's a con man. He's a con man. What do you
think about the build-up? What do you think about? Come tell me. What do you think about?
No, but
did he do the right thing?
No, well, the thing is, again, the way he was playing it in the build-up, it's a dangerous game, because now you just look foolish for all the stuff you were doing, and it all makes sense, because maybe you never believed that you could win. That's why he was acting up like this. Because if you look at the AJ Usyk fight, if you notice the fight week, all the reporters were saying, and I picked up on this, they were all saying that Usyk was so confident. They were like, there's a certain kind of there's a certain energy in that camp. Like, it's like they know they're gonna win. I can't remember who said it. Maybe it was Froch or someone, but they were saying how confident. But then when you contrast that to Dillian Whyte now, mate, what are you playing now? Not coming to conferences and stuff like that, mate. It's just you know what's gonna happen to you, and even during fight week, I don't think Dillian was himself. Something wasn't right with him. Do you know what I'm saying? It's almost as if he knew that the task was too big. Do you know what I'm saying? He didn't really have that belief.
He knew. Listen, I think. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I just think, look, even if he believed in himself, he probably would have lost that fight anyway. But I 100% agree with you. I mean, I said, as you know, I picked Dillian to win because the mind games. I picked Dillian. I was very confident Dillian was going to win. And like I said before, watching tonight's fight, I thought Dillian won all the rounds until he got hit with that unlucky shot. But look, for me, like I said, I mean, let me ask you one question, and then I'll let you go. But Steve, I want you to call in again because you're a very good caller. So I want to get to call in again. I want you to give your final thoughts, and I want to ask you before you give your final thoughts. We keep hearing about resume and mind games. I'm on a fucking campaign, yeah. I'm on a Barack Obama style campaign now, yeah, to stop all this resume and mind games nonsense because we've been hearing all that Dillian's got a better resume than Fury. Well, I mean, just listen. They're not getting in the ring, hitting each other with pieces of paper. What do you think about resume tonight?
Load of bollocks, man. Absolute load of bollocks, bro. Like, look at Fury now. Look at what he's shown them. He's shown that he's the best. And he's not even fought everyone on resumes. And no one gives a shit about resumes. At the end of the day, when you look at the top heavyweights, when you look at like Mike Tyson, Holyfield, they all talk about the big fights. They don't talk about all the shitty like B-level fights that they had. That doesn't mean anything. Exactly. We all know who's spreading that propaganda in boxing. We all know who it is. A certain, you know.
Yeah, we know.
But it's good to, you know what? I will say this yet before I go, bro. It's good to see Frank. Like, it's good to see the swagger back on Frank. You know, like. Well, Frank's just got that energy, you know, like the 94,000, you know.
Frank Warren is absolutely at his peak. I mean, he's got Joseph Parker. He's got Joseph Parker and Joe Joyce there talking about a fight that they haven't even signed. So Frank Warren is back to his best. I mean, it reminds me of the old Box Nation days where he called a press conference for Derek Chisora and Deontay Wilder without getting Wilder's signature, and then he had to roll it back. So Frank is absolutely back. I mean, listen, he'll be back in court. Frank Warren's so back, he'll be back in court next week. That's how you know he's back.
Yeah, Frank's out there doing shuffling and shit, but no, it's all good, man. Bro,
Steve,
honestly, great
appreciate it, brother.
You, man.
No, of course, man. Anytime, brother. See you soon, bro. See you soon. All right, let's see how long this lasts. Manuel Cha.
How you doing,
brother?
I'm all right, mate. Long time. Yeah, what a performance by Tyson. You know, that's the best I've seen him fight since the Wilder. You know, he controlled it well. He kept it on the outside. He didn't even get out of second gear. Hit him with the jab. You know, yeah. Whyte, you know, he tried his best, but it weren't good enough. You know, there's no shame on Whyte's part. You know, he should have gone for it a bit more, but everything he was trying to throw. He's trying to throw the left hook like he missed by a country mile. But
20, Aji, would you say that's one of the best value cards you ever paid for? 24.99
no, the card was shit. The card was shit. I didn't watch the rest because I knew it was shit.
And what about the main event?
I streamed it illegally. Yeah.
Yeah, and what about the main event to finish off? I mean, that was like having a turd as a starter, and then some lukewarm vomit to finish off.
Yeah.
I mean, that was absolute arse for me. I don't know what you thought about it.
What, the actual fight itself? The main
event?
event?
The actual fight. Yeah, after hearing all this years,
it was flat. Look, it was flat.
As a pancake.
Yeah, but I did predict that Fury would win inside 8 rounds. But for me, Dillian could have tried a bit more. He had no game plan. Like,
what about turning southpaw in round 1?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen him do that before. And I thought, what the hell is he doing? You know, look. Look, I'm not going to knock him. He got in there. I know he lost, and he lost badly, but he got in there. You know.
Yeah.
I can't knock him. He cashed out. But this doesn't mean it's the end of Dillian Whyte. You know, he's not a coward. You know.
No, he's no. Dillian, listen. On a serious thing, Dillian says. Do you know what I think Dillian's best option would be? You're going to laugh at me for saying this. Do you know what I think Dillian's best option would be?
What?
Why don't you sign a one-fight deal with Frank Warren and fight Joseph Parker versus Joe Joyce winner, or fight Daniel Dubois? What a way to come back! What are you going to do? Go back to Matchroom and fight Johnny Fisher? What are you going to do? What are you going to do at Matchroom?
I think they will go a different direction. They may look at the winner of Daniel Dubois. You know, if that fight ever happens, or
and Trevor Bryan,
yeah, that would be his best route. But I mean, as a pay-per-view star, is it over? I mean, you've got to say it's kind of over at the minute, isn't it? So,
well, the thing about these Dillian Whyte fans is, if you actually listen to what Dillian Whyte fans say, with the exception of Jack, who's a very good friend of the show, none of them make any sense. They turned around tonight, and they said, "Listen, this 94,000 is half Dillian," which is a fair comment, right? Because they're saying, "Oh, you know, Tyson's never done those numbers at all before. He's only ever done those numbers with Dillian. You know, everybody's turning out to see Tyson and Dillian." And look how Dillian behaves, in my opinion. Doesn't turn up to any of the pressers until the last presser.
Yeah.
Doesn't even give. Did he give a post-fight interview tonight? I've heard that he didn't even give a post-fight interview. I've heard he just walked out the
He
arena.
didn't do enough. He didn't do enough.
90,000 people.
Tyson did all the promoting.
90,000 people. He really believes that 40 out of those 90,000 people came to watch him, and then he turns up. He doesn't even give him a post-fight interview. He just sails off into the night.
I mean, it's obvious he was cashing out. That was it. I mean, I still think Dillian can rebuild. You know, I'm not saying they win a world title, but he can rebuild if he fights somebody for a vacant belt. You know, he's still a top 8 fighter. You know, he's still there. But obviously, when you got people like Fury, Usyk, and Joshua, you know, they're quite a long way ahead of him. You know, that's no disrespect on him. That's no reflection on him. It just shows how good the top guys are. You know, the real elite guys.
How do you think him and Wilder would have played out? Are you of the same opinion of us that Wilder would have sent him?
I think Wilder would have knocked his head off in about 5 or 6 rounds. Seriously, he would have tagged him to death.
Yeah, it's different. What do you think about? It's all on Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is basically at this minute in time is carrying Matchroom on his shoulder. I don't believe Conor Ben's a superstar, so it's Anthony Joshua will bust. And to me, what do you think? Do you think they really want him to fight Usyk? This fight's still not. It's been a year. This fight is still not announced.
It's a bad move because, I mean, but again, what's Usyk going to be like since that war started? Apparently, he's lost 10 pounds. What frame of mind is he going to be taking? I would have thought he would have vacated the belts, to be absolutely honest.
Right.
If he's fighting the war, you know, he's not going to be in the right frame of mind. Joshua's not in the right frame of mind, you know. I think... Sorry, carry on.
No, carry on. No, please talk. Carry on, please.
I think he should have had a warm-up fight, you know, the same way Lennox Lewis did when he lost. In some of his fights, I know he didn't have and he had an immediate rematch with Rathman, but he didn't have an immediate rematch with McCall. He should have, you know, had a few fights to build himself up again, like Klitschko did when Vladimir lost the title. You know, there's no shame in stepping back and trying to take a few fights to improve, is there?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. What do you think about? I was going to say one last thing. I was going to say one last thing. Let me tell you what. Let me ask you this, and then we'll move on. And so, your final thoughts, right? Did this all live up to expectation? The last 2 years of Whyte and Fury ducking each other, the fucking purse bid, all this bollocks. After 2-3 years, this crap is finally over. When you look back on it, did it really live up to life for you?
It didn't do anything. It didn't do fuck all. It was shit. It wasn't a great fight, you know. It was all Tyson. This fight was disappointing for me. Dillian just didn't do enough, you know.
Do you think when he goes home tonight and notches that back in a couple of days, do you regret that? Do you regret?
Dillian, yes, he will. Yes, he will. He should have gone for it more. If you've got a world title fucking shot, you've got to fucking go for it. You know, you can't just do nothing. You've got to go for it.
Do you think he really believed he was going to win?
No, he didn't. You could say in the press conference, you could tell us when he got in the ring, he looked like he knew in his head, you could see, I'm not going to win this one. I'll just collect the money. I'll come here for the paycheck, you know?
Thank you very much for calling, brother. Please call in again.
All right, mate. I'll see you later.
See you soon, brother. Take care. Okay, bro. Okay, guys. We've been going for 1 hour 42 here. How do you think I've been fair to Dillian? I mean, we've got 233 still here. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you would like to. I'm not giving you any technical analysis, but I've got some news for you. We've got some big things coming soon. I'm going to be partnering up with Skills Pay the Bills, who I think is one of the very, very best. I mean, people think I know something about boxing, this guy is on another planet. This guy, you talk about boxing. This guy is on a whole nother planet in terms of video analysis, of boxing, and this guy's on a different planet, right? So this guy's going to be coming in, and he's going to be, because the next big fight is AJ versus Usyk, so we're going to be working on that. And Mickey Elliott will be coming back soon as well. I've just spoken to Mickey Elliott. Mickey Elliott will be arriving as well. So hopefully we get Mickey Elliott on this coming week. I need to give Mickey Elliott suitable notice. Hopefully we'll be getting Mickey Elliott on in the next coming week to give his views. Promoter, manager, boxer, and trainer, Mickey Elliott. And also we're going to start doing some really in-depth technical analysis with Skills Pay the Bills. I mean, this guy makes me look like a chump. I mean, you won't hear this guy banging on about fucking pieces of paper and shit. Right, let's go through your comments, guys. If anybody else wants to call in, you're welcome to call in. In the meantime, I'm just going to go through all your comments. I haven't really been doing a good job of reading those comments. So if you don't want to call in, but you'd like to comment, let's go through all your comments right now. I'll be staying for just a little bit longer. I really appreciate it. To tell you what, press 2 if you think I've been too harsh on Dillian Whyte's performance. I have to be honest, Dillian Whyte's an absolute warrior, and he even knocked me out stone cold. Would I say it's Dillian's face? Probably not. But from my perspective, after everything. Look, I sat through 3 fights with Wilder, right? 3 fights. The first fight was a classic fight. You know, Fury coming back the way he came back, boxing Wilder's head off, you know, got dropped in the 6th, came back, boxed Wilder's head off, got flattened with an absolute monster punch, got up, Lord knows how, and that fight. The second fight was a demolition job. Nobody thought he could. The third fight, one of the best fights we've ever seen. The third fight was one of the best fights we have ever seen between Wilder and Fury. And if you look at what we saw between Wilder and Fury 3, and we compare that to what we were served up tonight, it's embarrassing. To me, it's embarrassing. Wilder versus Fury 3, do you know what that was? Wilder versus Fury 3 was a 1-star Michelin meal. That was a 1-star Michelin meal with a waiter, a nice bottle of red, and a pre-starter. That's what Wilder versus Fury was fragua. Wilder versus Fury was roasted duck on a bed of lentils. That's what Wilder versus Fury 3 was. Roasted duck on a bed of lentils. Cooked by Heston Blumenthal. Do you know what tonight was? Tonight was Little Chef. Do you know what tonight was? Tonight was Little Chef. Oh, so you know when you go in the glove box of your car, you go in the glove box. Oh fuck, forgot. Got these Little Chef vouchers here. What are they doing? They're doing a whole meal for £2.50. Oh, but might as well go in and use it. Yeah, exactly, Shane. £2 chicken. This was chicken cottage. That's what this was. And I'm being honest. You don't see me coming on here getting all hyped up about this fight, going, "Oh my god, what a performance!" You heard that? You don't hear me saying, "What a performance from Fury! Oh, he really is the greatest of all time." Have you heard me say that? No. Why? Because the fight was embarrassing. The fight was truly embarrassing. No. Hold on. Let me just bring up some images. Here we go. Let me show you. Hold on. Just so people, because you know these people who talk about resume all day. You know these people who talk rubbish about fucking mind games. Do you know what I mean? They don't understand if you use pictures, innit? Unless you use pictures. Let me show you. This is Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3. Can you see that? There you go. You see that on the plate there? That's Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3. Yeah? You see this? This is what we were served up tonight. There you go. That's what we were served up tonight. Yo, dude's got paid 40 million for that fight tonight. I might have to become a professional boxer. Genuinely. I might have to become a professional boxer. Shevin's saying no sound. Can you guys hear me okay? Yes or no? I think you guys can hear. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me. Shevin keeps saying no sound. But my mic's not muted. Let me just check. I think I'm still going okay. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, it's fine. It's just you. Yeah, there you go. That's what we were delivered tonight. This, look. See this? That's what tonight's fight was. Man's got paid, yeah, £40 million for delivering us chicken cottage. Chicken cottage. Do Deliveroo deliver chicken cottage? That's what it is, isn't it? Man turns up at your door. Your chicken cottage is here. It's embarrassing, man. Look at this box meal. Dillian Whyte got $7 million for that. How much did he get? How much did he get? $7 million for that. Dillian Whyte. Can we be honest? After 2 years, $7 million. Jesus Christ. Right. Get your comments in. Let's go through these last comments. Daniel Mickelson says, "Bro, you haven't been harsh enough to Dillian." I've always given Dillian a fair shot, really. He was an absolute disgrace from the beginning to end. After spitting in everybody's eye, he came out fat, unprepared, and he didn't even try to win. I think he tried, but I think he knew the fucking whiting was on the wall. Al Max says, "Is anyone ducking White?" He's dangerous, and he is dangerous. Stars make fights. You can't write off Dillian Whyte's career. Dillian Whyte's a dangerous heavyweight. You know, in the right fights, he's extremely dangerous. Just don't put him in the ring with Deontay Wilder, and don't put him in the ring with Tyson Fury, and he'll be okay. Londoner says, "I hear Dean White changed his name to Dean Buffer." Jesus fucking Christ. IG Hex Gladly says, "At least I won £105. Congratulations." Listen, I lost money. I picked Dillian, as you guys know. So I don't know why I'm on here blowing my own trumpet. I picked Dillian to win. You know, like I said before, I really believed in Dillian's boxing skills. You know, I really believed that Dillian was the superior fighter. His balance is extraordinary. In particular, his balance and his shot selection is world class. So I was expecting Dillian to put it off, but Tyson Fury was one of the biggest shocks in the history of boxing there. M says, "The greatest heavyweight that's ever lived." You must be talking about Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, Joe Lewis, or somebody else not named Tyson Fury. Itty Bitty Bad Boy says, "Imagine complaining about..." Do you know what? It makes me laugh. You know all those people that were saying White deserves more than 20%? Fuck her hell. How many more millions would you have given White after that performance tonight? Let's be honest. I mean, he's already getting 7 million. How many more millions you want to give him for that? You want to give him 10, 15, 20? They were saying he should have been 60-40 or something. Or was it a 55-45 split for that? Lord, a 55-45 split. A 55-45 split, and then you perform like that. Fucking hell! I think a few people have been running on fumes, innit? I think a few people have been smoking trees, man. Dillian Whyte deserves 45%. You must be smoking trees, man. No way. Samuel Harrison says Frank knew all along. No rematch clause for a reason. No, Frank didn't. Frank, there's no rematch clause. Period. The only people who invent rematch clauses for mandatories are matchroom when they're not sure their fighter's going to win. That's a matchroom thing. Rematch clauses, isn't it? Dench says, what comes after squeaky bum time? Listen, let me tell you something. You know these Dillian Whyte places. Can I ask you a question? Did they ever actually talk about the matchup? These dudes spent the last 3 months talking about arbitration, talk about everything other than the fight. If you notice, they never talk about the fight. Listen, let me tell you a story. Whenever you get 2 fighters in a fight, yeah, and the other fighter supporters refuse to talk about the actual technical fight, that's a big clue. It's like when they won't talk about the actual fight. Okay, so let's talk technical boxing. Okay, how is this going to work? When they can't come up and tell you, but Dillian's resume. Okay, right, let's talk about boxing. How's he going? But arbitration, Dillian can't say nothing because of the arbitration. Dillian can't say nothing because of arbitration. He got the arbitrator, so Dillian can't say nothing because if Dillian says the wrong thing, then Dillian says the wrong thing, then there's going to be a big problem. How is the arbitration going on? Anybody want to tell me where the arbitration? Where is it? Where's the arbitration? Same place where you'll find Dillian Whyte's mind games, isn't it? Where is it? Where's Dillian Whyte's arbitration? Same place his mind games ended up, innit? In the bin. Where is the arbitration? I'm gonna ask about that. Keep it up. Keep asking. Where is the arbitration? Where's the arbitrator? Where is he? Fights happen now. He's got his split. What's he gonna do? The arbitrator. What, are you gonna retroactively award Dillian Whyte 30-40% of the cut now? How do you fall for this shit? Like, at some point, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and think, look, I'm a fucking grown man with fucking children. How do I get hoodwinked by this shit? This is basic, like, Clapham Junction hood shit. Do you know what I mean? This is the kind of bullshit you hear over a train waiting outside Clapham Junction. You know, it's bullshit. How do you buy into this? How did you really believe that there is some magical arbitration? Where is it? Where's the arbitration? Samuel Harrison says the arbitration's in the same place as that toxicology report. What the fuck is going on? How do grown men fall for this shit, man? It's so bad, but what can you do? I don't slack them off. I try not to mention them by name. I've got no beef with no other YouTubers. You know, I've got no beef with no other YouTubers. All I do is sit back here and just have a laugh. I ain't got nothing. But you have to look at yourself. If you really believe in this stuff, you know, because, you know, it makes sense. Like, you believe in Dillian Whyte arbitration, what are you going to be believing in next? You know, you're going to start believing in a Tooth Fairy, aren't you? No disrespect, innit? You can start believing in Tooth Fairy or Corey Good, Secret Space Program. I don't know what that is. Do you know what I mean? You start believing there's a pot of gold at the end of the race. How gullible do you get? There has to be a point where you just say, look, come on now. Games You Love says, is Whyte done? No, he's not done. He's not done. Dillian Whyte is a good fighter and an exciting fighter in the right fights. Period. That's it. Simple as that. Dillian Whyte is a good fighter and an exciting fighter in the right fights against fighters not named Tyson Fury. Shevin, I bet he believes in Corey Good. You show him a Corey Good video, he fucking yeah, Corey Good. Anyway, don't take that nothing. Man like Ryan, 1990 says Whyte needs a new team. Look, this team is look. Let me tell you honestly. Dillian Whyte got a big payday, right? Fantastic, yeah. And I like Dillian Whyte, but it has to be a clear out of this team. Like, whoever's been advising him is the worst advisor of all time. Can you think of a man in boxing who's had worse advice than this man? I can't think of one, you know. Can you think of a man who's had worse advice than this man? Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, I like Dillian Whyte. I think Dillian Whyte, to be honest, I think Dillian Whyte is actually been, you know, I was thinking today about who are my MVPs. Dillian Whyte, I'm going to take Dillian Whyte off the screen. I think Dillian Whyte's a good dude. I'll tell you who I think let me tell you something who I think is an absolute fucking disgrace. Is this idiot here. You know what I'm going to say. Dillian Whyte's a good dude. I've got a lot of time for Dillian Whyte. This idiot is an idiot. This idiot here. John Fury. Make no mistake, John Fury's a fucking disgrace. I don't give a shit if Tyson Fury won or not. John Fury's behaviour from start to finish has been a fucking embarrassment. And when Tyson Fury loses, and he will lose, because all good fighters lose at some point, yeah? Unless they're Mayweather or Kazagi, who doesn't really count because, for obvious reasons. But Tyson Fury will lose at some point, and he's going to look like an idiot. And the way he carries on in the build-up, the way he carries on, I think he's a joke. Saying David Hayes shouldn't be allowed at the weigh-in, John Fury is an absolute disgrace. He nearly caused a riot at the weigh-in. He's an embarrassment, The sooner Tyson Fury can fight in America so that he can't turn up to the fights, the better. Because I think John Fury, the way he's carried himself has been disgusting. I actually think the way Dillian Whyte has carried himself has been tremendous. What do you guys think? I have to be honest. Dillian Whyte has carried himself in this fight tremendous. Dillian Whyte. He's avoided fights. He's kept his mouth shut. I think Dillian Whyte is actually genuine. I've always believed that Dillian Whyte is genuinely a good dude. Now, whether he should be advising Dillian, no. For me, no. There needs to be a whole kick out going on there. Whoever told him to turn southpaw in that first round, you're out of a job. Seriously, can we get a picture of the job centre up here? Look. Whoever told Dillian Whyte to turn southpaw in round one, here's where you need to go. First thing in the morning. Sorry. I'm sorry. But that is absolutely disgusting. Whoever told Dillian Whyte to turn southpaw. Who fucking makes this shit up? Who makes this shit up? It's like, was Eddie Hearn in the corner delivering the tactics? I mean, that was, if ever there was a sign that Fury was in your head, that was the sign. The man turning southpaw in the first round. What the fuck? Who told him to do that? You don't need to turn southpaw. What you need to do is get stuck in and throw Tyson Fury in his rhythm. What do we do? What do we do? Oh, we'll have Whyte boxing a stance he's pretty much never boxed in before in a professional ring. That's going to throw Fury off. You should have got in and stuck in. Disrupt Fury. Elbow, headbutt, bite his ears, anything. But you've got to throw his rhythm off. What does he do in the first round? Turn southpaw, stands off Fury, lets Fury get into a rhythm. I mean, this is really bad stuff what we've seen tonight. This is really bad. I mean, you talk about all I want is violence. I've done all the work in Algarve. All I want is maximum violence. And what do? Turn up in the fucking ring, turn southpaw and stand off Fury and let him get into a rhythm. Oh my gosh, what an absolute fucking turd burger. Whoever did that in the camp, whoever came up with that fucking game plan, you have to go. That's where you go, Job Centre Plus. First thing in the morning, I don't care if you work Kronk Gym, Ronk Gym, whatever. Get your ass out of there. You can't be coaching. You can't be coaching at that level when you're coming up with game plans like that. That is so embarrassing. So embarrassing. Richard from Richard from Twitter says Dean went from running a closed down music studio to promoting a potential heavyweight champion. Listen, Dillian Whyte's one of my MVPs. I like Dillian Whyte. I think he's a good guy. I've got a lot of time for Dillian Whyte. If I saw Dillian Whyte, I'll walk up to him. I might get a backhand, but I like him. I like him as a person. For me, he's a better guy than John Fury. Dillian Whyte's a real big man. He's a real tough guy. Doesn't really doesn't really have to go out there. He could have fucking flattened John Fury in front of everybody. You know that? He could have flattened John Fury in front of everybody, but he chose to have a bit of humility. I've got a lot of time for Dillian Whyte, but should Dillian continue to have him around and let him make decisions? This guy has got to go. Look, this is the problem. We'll leave it at this. This is the problem. This guy has told Dillian not to promote the fight. So this is what Dillian's got. Congratulations, he's got $8 million or whatever he's got. So he's got £4 million or whatever he's got. So listen, he's going to go away a rich man. Hopefully he puts that money in an ISA account and he'll never have to, he'll never have to work another hard day in his life. That's the good thing. We always like to see boxers getting taken care of. But this guy did the same mistake that this guy made. He made the same mistake that this man made here. He made exactly the same mistake that this man here made. Remember when Barry Hearn told him to bleach his hair and he bleached his hair? Do you remember that? Do you remember when Barry Hearn told O'Hara Davis, if you bleach your hair, if you dye your hair blonde, you'll get more attention? And then O'Hara Davis went and did it. Eddie Hearn told him, you know this fight with Josh Taylor, which is to this date the biggest fight of your career, that you fought with a guy who went on to become the undisputed champion of the world and a pound for pound fight. You know the biggest fight of your career? Don't promote it. Make sure the fans don't know who you are. Make sure that you don't get any new fans. Make sure that you don't get any fan base. Make sure that you don't get any fans whatsoever. Don't promote the fight. Turn up to the press conferences. Don't say a word. Make sure that nobody likes you. Make sure that when this fight is done with Josh Taylor, nobody knows who you are. And make sure that nobody will ever watch your fight again. And he pulled the same fucking bullshit on Dillian. And Dillian listened. I could be wrong on that. But for me, Eddie Hearn's fingerprints are all over that. And if I'm wrong, I'll apologise. Eddie Hearn's fingerprints all over this. Yeah, don't turn up to the press conference. This guy got it wrong from beginning to end. He believed he was going to win the purse bid, didn't he? That was the game plan from Whyte, wasn't it? Yeah, well, if Eddie can get Fury on the zone, maybe they can, bring in Howard Foster as a referee and do all this fucking crazy shit, and maybe I can get away with it. That was the game plan, wasn't it? The whole game plan was for this man here, yeah, Eddie. The whole plan was for this man to win the purse bid, so they could get Howard Foster in as the referee. They were going to have Howard Foster be the referee and the 3 judges. That's how Matchroom would have run this card. Mind you, let me tell you the truth. If Matchroom run this card, we would have seen a hell of a lot better undercard. I'll tell you that right now. So I will give Eddie Hearn credit for that. And Frank Warren, that undercard is a disgrace. That event tonight as a whole was a disgrace. But we'll talk about Frank in a little bit. But Eddie, innit? See how he does these fighters? And look at it now for Dillian. Dillian will always be known for. This is what Dillian will always be known for the rest of his life. Unless he becomes. Listen, Dillian Whyte will always be known as the dude who didn't turn up to any press conferences. The dude who rocked up to Wembley Stadium on a late plane from Algarve 2 days before the main event, turned up looking like merciless at Sting, and then got blasted out of there in 6 rounds. That's how he goes down in history. No one's going to remember this fight. No one's going to remember this fight. No one's going to go back and go, oh, remember that magical fight, Fury and Whyte. They're going to go, yo, remember the time that Dillian Whyte said he was ducked for 1,000 days? And then he rocked up, He rocked up in a black leather jacket 2 days out from the Algarve, from Wembley Stadium. And then he got uppercutted into round 6. Where's Dillian? I think Han's here. Listen, Han, anybody else I wouldn't pick up because it's nearly time for me to go. But I'm going to let you have the last word. So just wait up, Han. We've got our last caller here. If anybody wants to call in, it's got to be now. If you want to call in and give your opinion. Let me just get my headphones on so I can make sure I can hear Han properly. 1 sec. Han is one of our Amir Khan fans here. Han's very, very knowledgeable about the sport of boxing. So let me just turn on my microphone here. And you see me, I'm not dissing any YouTubers. You see what I'm saying? I'm not calling out any YouTubers, I'm not dissing any YouTubers. I don't care about all that, You can support whoever you want, but it is what it is. I think tonight we see the difference between people who actually... sorry, let me just turn my headphones on, hand 1 second. I think tonight we see the difference between people who actually understand boxing and people who don't. To be honest. It is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. Right, let me get my headphones here. Here we go. Han, you're on. What do you think?
Can you hear me?
Han, I can hear you fine. Sorry, I muted myself. Han, I can hear you fine. Give your opinion. It's fine.
Perfect. I thought Dillian Whyte looked terrible. I thought he looked absolutely disgraced. His trainer's a disgrace. Why he left Mark Tibbs is a disgrace. His footwork was a disgrace. It doesn't have to throw a jab or a right hand. I don't know. I think he needs to go and suck Dean's white dick. Because I'm sick and tired of fucking... Honestly, I don't understand. He's had 6 months or 7 months to... train for this fight. I don't understand what these so-called trainers teaching these fighters, man. Honestly, I'm a boxing fan, right? I do a bit of pad work, this and that, right? But even I could have trained Dillian Whyte to do some things in there. Like, I don't understand why he went southpaw. Honestly, for me, I was watching it with my family. Obviously, we don't pay for these kind of things. Who's going to pay 25 quid to watch the next Triple G, aka Tommy Fury in the ring, right? But that's another thing we can say. But yeah, Dillian Whyte looked like, to me, like he was in a Bollywood dance video. the way he was shaking his hands, shaking his fucking upper body. Honestly, absolutely disgrace. Like, honestly, oh my god, man, what can I say, man? To be honest with Fury, I thought he looked okay. I was a bit disappointed in his performance. For me, he wasn't fainting quite a lot. Normally, he does faint quite a lot, but he wasn't in this fight. I thought he's gonna jab a bit more than he did. I thought if he starts fainting, he'll land the 1-2 much more easier. Because every time he was throwing the 1-2, Dillian Whyte was coming with the left hook to the head, and I thought if he faints a few times, it'll offset Dillian Whyte. Then he can throw the 1-2 down the pipe. Apart from that, the ring walk was absolutely terrible. I think Frank Warren must have spent about 100 grand on the fireworks.
That's where it went, Han. That's people asking where the undercard was. All the undercard money went on the damn fireworks. Even Fury's entrance, I thought, was a bag of bollocks as well. It was pound shots. I mean, Frank, let me tell you, Frank. Everyone knows Frank's my boss, Han, and Frank's got 2 more chances left. Right? He's got Andrade and Parker. That's in the stadium, yeah. And he's got Joseph Parker versus Joe Joyce, which ain't even signed. Apparently, that's happened in the stadium. Frank's got 2 more stadium fights to let me know, yeah, that he can still do this. You know, I'm going to be on Queen's Prophecies first thing on Monday morning. I'm going to have a word with Frank, yeah. Less money on Dillian Whyte got no fight. Probably the right thing after his performance. Dillian Whyte got no fireworks. Tyson Fury got all the fireworks. Frank, less money on fireworks, more money on the undercard. Han, let me ask you. We've been hearing for the last 3 years that Tyson Fury is avoiding Dillian Whyte, and it all came down to this. Han, in my opinion, what I said was glorified sparring. I mean, Han, let me say one thing. You came on here, you were gutted, yeah, that Amir Khan put in that performance against Kelbrook, but I'm not being funny. And if you look at what Khan did in the ring tonight compared to what happened tonight, I mean, levels, in it. I mean, at least Khan come and gave it a go, didn't he? At least Khan came and gave it a go.
I was honestly fucking. I don't want to be swearing on him, but I'm really disappointed in Dillian Whyte. I thought he's a can man. Anybody can get it, but it didn't look like that. He didn't even try. Like, even Derek, even though Derek Chisora is terrible, at least he gives it a go. Like, Dillian Whyte he didn't even bother trying. Man didn't even.
Have you ever seen Derek Chisora turn up round 1 and turn southpaw?
He did against Usyk, which kind of worked for like about 20 or 30 seconds.
You got me there. Okay, fair enough. Maybe Derek Chisora was Dillian Whyte's trainer for this fight.
Oh, mate, honestly, Dillian Whyte waited over like 1,000,000 days, like Eddie Hearn said, like Barry Hearn says.
Mark Tibbs will be sitting at home having some jelly deal with a mashed potato. He'll be fucking pissing himself watching that, you know. Honestly, Mark Tibbs will be sitting there pissing his pants with his pie and mash, saying they turned this guy southpaw and told him to stand off Fury and let him get into the fight. Carry on, Han. Sorry, carry on.
For me, I thought Dillian Whyte I was picking Dillian Whyte to win the fight. I thought, okay, he's got slow feet, but what he'll do is he'll put his hands up and he'll just start swinging. I thought, because Fury, for me, he always, when Fury, like when you throw a punch at Fury, he always ducks on to the right or the left. He always does the same moves. I thought, okay, Dillian Whyte's been training for this many months. Okay, I thought he looks a bit more clever. He speaks like he's got sense, but it doesn't look like it. I don't know, man. Dillian Whyte, I don't know. He's terrible. Eddie Hearn's matchroom is going down to the bin. Conor Benn is a bum. Fucking don't give a shit about Conor Benn. I just want him to get sparked out because I'm sick and tired of him acting like he's the greatest welterweight ever. You can beat him. He's fighting tomato can taxi drivers. It's like he's fighting my dad.
Hey, Han. Let me say this in closing, Han. They say British boxing is booming. Last weekend, we all stayed up and watched Errol Spence versus fucking Yordan Usyk. I mean, you just look at the quality of fights they're serving up in America, right? And then to sit and watch that, Errol Spence and Yordan Usyk, and a week later having to sit down and watch this absolute turd burger. British boxing's in a bad place. British boxing's in a real bad place, you know. I don't think people understand, you know. Listen, we are one or two losses away for going back to the good old days of Francis and Pofo headlining main events and stuff. We are in big fucking trouble in this country. People are worried about the Tory government. I'm going to tell people right now, right? Don't worry about Boris Johnson. right? You need to worry about boxing. Yeah, if Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury lose, we're fucked. We've got no stars. We've got no characters. Apparently, according to Matchroom, Conor Benn's a global superstar, and it's Conor Benn and it's Conor Benn and Johnny Fisher, and are going to carry British boxing when Fury and AJ finally get beat. And we're fucked. Just make no mistake, and we're fucked.
No. I think you mean Alan Babbage, who's going down to fucking. Alan Babbage, the savage, is gonna beat up Oscar Rivas for the bridgeweight title, then come fight for the heavyweight title. The greatest fighter ever to live, Alan the Savage Babbage. Then you got Dave Allen fighting tomato cans on fucking, I don't know, man. Then you got Isaac Lowe. Oh my god, man.
Oh my god, he got iced.
Listen, Frank Warren, right? To be honest, to give some credit to Frank, right? He can't. He's good at bringing up and coming talent. Yeah, I give him credit for that, right? But Eddie Hearn has, for me, for some reason, Eddie Hearn can put a better production than Frank. I think Frank does not have a clue what he's doing half the time. Would you agree with that, Ultra?
Well, listen, I don't. You know, I'm a Frank because Frank Warren was my boss, but I'm giving. After tonight's shambles, I'm giving Frank. Look, he's got one strike there, Han, and he's got 2 more stadium fights to make. Listen, I'm expecting for Andrade and Parker. I'm expecting Babe Station Burst to come out topless and shake their booty during the ring walks because Frank Warren really is. Yeah, we need to have a chat with him. Well, don't worry, Han. I'll speak to Frank Warren first thing Monday morning. All right, Han. Final thoughts from you, and then we're going to call it a day.
Final thoughts is that Conor Benn is still fucking shit. Matchroom are useless. AJ is gonna get battered again because he can't figure out the feints. He's gonna gas out again. Barry Hearn is still gonna call black people their slave like he normally does. Eddie Hearn's gonna go fuck off in a different country when AJ loses and suck Conor Benn's dick. I could not give. I don't want to say no more because I'm not in the zone. Just a last thing, George. I'm a big fan of Joe Joyce, right? But I'm telling you now, Ultra, I'll take any bets. Joseph Parker is going to give Joe Joyce a beating. He's going to run to him and run around in circle. I love Joe Joyce, but he's so slow. Like, he's fucking. He's going to get knocked out. What can I say? Tommy Fury.
I've got Joe Joyce by stoppage.
Oh, come on, Ultra. You can't.
No, I'm serious. I've got Joe Joyce by stoppage.
Listen, it's too slow. His footwork's too slow. Listen, Parker, fair enough, right? His footwork's a bit shit, right? But he's a bit quicker than Joyce. All he's going to do is just throw the 1-2. Joyce head movement is shocking. He's going to take punches all night.
It is bad. Yeah. Do you know what someone said about Dillian Whyte tonight? What? They said that Dillian Whyte turns like a P&O ferry.
Yo,
who do you think's slower? Like after Joe Joyce, do you think Dillian Whyte is the slowest fighter in every division? I'm not. You know, it's between Dillian Whyte, Joe Joyce, and Christopher Lovejoy. Those are the 3 slowest fighters I've ever seen in every division. Them 3.
Yeah. Yo, I think
milk turn quicker.
Yo, can I ask you a question, Ultra? What do you think of Martin Bakoli chances against Tony Yoka?
I haven't really. You know what? I'm a casual, so I haven't really seen Yoka properly. So I need to have a look. You know what?
Neither have I, but
I do believe Bakoli would have beaten Dubois on reflection. I think Bakoli's got a style that's not good for Dubois, but that's a conversation for another day. But Han, we're out. Han, we're gonna go.
Perfect. I just want to say thank you very much. I know you wanted to get going 10 minutes ago, so I do appreciate and I do apologize for the language. But
no, don't apologize, Han. You're always
I hate Conor Benn. I don't know why. I just feel like that. And I hope he gets smashed to bits. And I just want to say Chris Eubank Jr. is terrible. Yo, another last thing. Sorry, just about 10 seconds, right? Eddie Hearn just said last week, he said something about the WBA title. But
one sec. Can I just say one thing? Ty, if you want to jump back in, we'll do it quickly because this is a one-off night of boxing. Ty just went in and then dropped out. Ty, if you want to come in, now's your chance. Quickly pop in. I'll wait a minute for you. If you want to come in, Ty, and have your say, jump back in. Han, quickly finish up because I want to bring this other guy in.
Yo, Ultra, what did Eddie Hearn say about the WBA title? Because I don't know, he was slagging someone off, but then Lee Wood's got the regular title.
Yeah, exactly. He was turning around saying he don't want Conor Benn to fight someone good for the regular title because people will say it's not a world title. Clown.
Bunch of fucking. You know what I mean? Fucking most fanboys are fucking retarded watching boxing, paying for boxing, man. I would never pay for boxing, never will.
Well, not even tonight. Not even tonight, Scott.
To be honest with you, Tommy Fury did persuade me. The next Triple G, he's got a granite chain. Oh, he's the greatest. I think he's going to be a 2-time world champion. I think easy.
That's it.
The greatest fighter ever. John, listen, all I've got to say is, did you see when Dillian Whyte struck it?
John Fury. We'll talk
yeah,
about
and John
that
Fury's
tomorrow.
face went like a little rat, like he is. Go fight Mickey Theo.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. He's a bully. All right, Han, speak soon.
Thank you very much. David is the greatest cruiserweight ever to live. Thank you very much.
Han is a legend, isn't he? He reminds me of Ty and Booth. Like, his style is so weird. Ty, if you would like to come on and give your opinion, we're going to wait for you. Because we don't think you've ever been on the show before, Ty. So now's your chance. If anybody wants to call in, I don't think people wanted to call in, but we had someone jump. Han is dangerous, boy. I mean, Han's going to get us taken down. Ty, if you'd like to call back in, or someone would like to call in, we'll give it another 2 minutes. In the meantime, just in case no one turns up, I will give you my thoughts on this evening as a whole. I think British boxing is in massive trouble. I think British boxing sucks at the minute. I think we suck. I think, listen, I thought, look, like people say, if someone said the production quality was terrible, I thought the production quality was actually outstanding. Did anybody agree with me on that? I thought the production quality from BT with the drones flying everywhere and the scenes, I think it was awesome. I thought the production quality was fine. The problem was the undercard stacked to high heaven. Okay, by the way, Echo Essuman. I never want to hear Frank Roy talk about Conor Benn ever again against Essuman because Conor Benn will wipe that guy out. Period. You see Essuman and Darren Tetley. Oh my gosh, painful, fucking painful to watch that. That Darren Tetley versus Echo Essuman. And I'm sure Echo Essuman's a good fighter, but he ain't on Conor Benn's level. Listen, I'll tell you how it is. So I never want to hear Frank Roy talk about that again. So I thought the production quality was excellent, but I just didn't like. I just thought that I thought it looked amazing. I think BT are the best in the business. I think BT, the way they do their no filler boxing, they do their breakdowns. The guys actually get in the ring, like your Framptons, your Mark Tibbs. These guys get in the ring. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. What wasn't fantastic was that the card as a whole was painful. But most importantly, the main event was painful, and that's what did it for me. You know, I was genuinely expecting genuine fireworks tonight. I thought Dillian Whyte was going to turn up and really be a disruptor, and it just wasn't the case, really. And it was quite sad, really. I feel kind of bad that we spent fucking 2 years hyping this shit up for what? For what? To see Tyson Fury do glorified sparring. I mean, it's bad. I mean, Tyson Fury probably went to the back after the fight and probably did another 6 rounds pads. Do you remember when Anthony Joshua used to do that? When he was on his learning. Remember that, AJ? Do you remember when he used to knock over them tomato cans in the O2 Arena? And dudes are saying, oh, AJ needs to go back to being the old AJ. Do you remember that? And AJ used to knock out these tomato cans in 2 rounds. And then because he was learning, he used to go backstage and do a few rounds of pads. Do you remember that? He used to go backstage with Tony Sims. Yeah, I'm staying humble. I'm still learning. I'm going backstage and do pads. Fucking hell. What a load of fucking shite that was. After sitting down and watching fucking Jordanis Ugas and Errol Spence high level fighting, to sit and watch that was fucking bad. British boxing's fucked. Crazy D3 says Lennox Lewis is on the first flight back to Toronto. Total shit. Lennox Lewis thinking, what the fuck did I turn up for that for? Jesus Christ. Let's have a look here. Mr. Nick says, do you think Dillian will get a writ on Monday morning from Frank Warren for breach of contract? Fucking hell. I don't think Dillian's breached the contract, has he? He promoted the fight on social media. So he clause 11 he passed because he promoted the fight on social media. He turned up to press conferences. He turned up to the weigh-in. I don't know. I don't think Frank Warren cares, really. I think Frank Warren, at the minute, will sleep like a baby. Dillian Whyte got ruined. Matchroom's guard, AJ's got, let me finish up. Anthony Joshua has got nowhere to, I feel bad for the dude. That dude's got nowhere to hide now, man. And you know what? What Shevin said was so interesting, right? And I've heard someone else say this, that the reason why they didn't announce the AJ and Usyk fight was they were hoping that Whyte would beat Fury so they could try and get Usyk to step aside again. But there's nowhere to go for AJ now. This is it now. AJ is now going to have to fight Usyk in a fight that I believe will come through. And let me tell you one thing. I think a couple of you guys know, that with these predictions, I'm taking a piss with a lot of my predictions because I don't like jinxing fights. So I don't know if you've noticed, I've picked against Tyson Fury in his last 4 fights. I picked against him in all of the Wilder fights, and I picked against him in his Whyte fight. So I think a few smart people are kind of clocking on to what I'm doing here. The last genuine, honest prediction I gave on this channel, genuine, honest prediction was Kell Brook versus Amir Khan. And I will now give you a genuine, honest prediction, right? I really do believe that AJ will turn that around and beat Usyk on points. I really do believe. I can't believe he's going to box any worse. I think everything's going to be in his favour. I think they will stack the deck in his favour and do everything possible to make sure that he comes out champion. Because if he doesn't, the future's looking fucking bleak for Matchroom. They're stuck on some damn app that nobody's watching. All they've got on that damn app is the Women's Champions League and a few bits of bullshit that nobody cares about. And it really is squeaky bum time at Matchroom now. I mean, Dillian Whyte, the guard dog, he's gone, so they can't use Dillian Whyte as a human shield to protect AJ no more. So it really is now squeaky bum time for Matchroom. It's bad. So, you know, they're going to do everything they can to make sure that Oleksandr Usyk, yeah, they're going to have Vladimir Putin prank calling Oleksandr Usyk in the middle of the night. They'll do whatever it takes to make sure Usyk can't win that fight. That's why I'm going to go with AJ, and I think AJ's going to box better. I think as long as AJ boxes better, because he performed so badly in the last fight, the judges will give him them rounds. I think he will turn it around. Now, that's a genuine prediction. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that is a genuine prediction. A genuine prediction. That's not one of my bullshit predictions. Try not to jinx it prediction. Like Dillian Whyte's going to beat Tyson Fury. It is what it is. I think Tyson Fury, the jury's still out. I think he makes a lot of mistakes in the ring. He's still leaning back with his chin up in the air. Tonight, Dillian Whyte wasn't tall enough and range enough to make it count. That's bad news for Usyk, what we saw from Fury tonight, because Dillian Whyte wasn't big enough. Dillian Whyte wasn't big enough and long enough to expose Fury's defense. You know, Fury still has bad habits. You know, leaning back, chin up in the air in the middle of the pocket. I'm not convinced that Tyson Fury's at his peak. I actually think we might have seen his peak, believe it or not. I think his peak probably was Wilder 2. I think Tyson Fury's peak was probably Chisora 2 or Wilder 2. I'm not sure if he's the same fighter. Nevertheless, that was a very, very good performance. But I think a fight against Usyk or an Anthony Joshua would be a very, very much different fight. That's my opinion. But again, you know, that's the saying. It's hard to judge Fury because what Whyte did tonight in the ring was just... I know he gave it everything, and you know what I mean? Fair play to Dillian, he risked everything, but turning southpaw in round 1. It is what it is. Right, let's have a look. We'll talk about AJ and Usyk in depth. Right, let's leave it there. Next on the show, if we still have a channel, thank you, United Trini. Big up Trinidad. You talking real shit. I'm talking real shit, but guess what? I've put boxing gloves on and sparred, which is more than 90% of people that picked, that thought Dillian Whyte was being ducked by Tyson Fury have done. So it is what it is. Yeah, he did try and get up at least. Dillian did. Fury didn't even get out of second gear. In closing, please put some respect on Deontay Wilder's name. Call him a ducker, call him a bum. He's got bad technique. He's got this, he's got that. Mate, that guy took Fury to the edge in 2 out of 3 fights. Dillian Whyte, no disrespect, but I'm just going to call it how it is. He was a glorified punch bag in there tonight. Am I lying or am I not lying? Press 7 if you agree with me in closing. Am I being unfair? If you think I'm being fair, here you go, United Trini. You can hit number 2. United Trini, hit 2. Press 2 if you think I'm being unfair to Dillian Whyte. And if you think I'm right and that Dillian Whyte was a glorified punch bag tonight, press 7. That's my opinion. Right? All the 7s are coming in. Let me know. Let me know if you think I'm being unfair. I think I've been very fair considering what's happened. Guys, take care of yourselves. And most importantly, take care of each other.